Chapter 467. After that, Cheng Yiye and Cheng Jiangjiang told their father a lot about Ji Yu. Only then did Cheng Ming understand what was going on. So that's how it is. I thought you found a son-in-law for me. Cheng Ming smiled. Dad, you're thinking too much. Cheng Jiangjiang rebuked. All right. Cheng Ming kept the smile on his face and turned serious. According to what you said, that young master is indeed an incredible genius. Not to mention his uncertain martial arts cultivation. He was a fourth-grade array master at such a young age. In the Pejuan Empire, he was definitely the #1 array master in the Pejuan Empire. He fully supported Yiye's and Jiangjiang's idea of treating that young master well. After all, such a talented young man must be on good terms with as much as possible. Then what do you think, Dad? Cheng Yiye asked. Of course, we'll treat that young master with the highest VIP treatment, Cheng Ming said without hesitation. At the same time, Ji was still drawing the array diagram. Ding! The host has successfully drawn a second-grade array diagram. Array formation attainment has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! The host has successfully drawn a third-grade array diagram. Array formation attainment has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Array formation attainment has successfully broken through to a middle-grade, fourth-grade array master. At this time, Ji Yu had used up the last set of materials. All that was left were materials for the fourth-grade array diagram. His array formation attainment had also been promoted to a middle-grade, fourth-grade array master. Now, it was much easier for him to draw a fourth-grade array diagram than before. After that, Ji Yu did not rest and continued to draw the fourth-grade array diagram. Ding! Detected that the host has started to draw a fourth-grade array diagram. The success rate of drawing an array diagram has increased by 999 times. Ding! The host has successfully drawn a fourth-grade array diagram. Array formation attainment has gained 999 times experience points. Now that Ji Yu was a middle-grade, fourth-grade array master, her speed was naturally faster than when she was drawing the earth-fire-burning array diagram. In just about an hour, Ji Yu had successfully drawn the fourth-grade array diagram. After that, she did not stop. Ding! The host has successfully drawn a fourth-grade array diagram. Array formation attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ding! The host has successfully drawn a fourth-grade array diagram. Array formation attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations, host! Your array formation mastery has successfully broken through to the superior fourth-grade array master. In the middle of the night, Ji Yu had used up all the materials for the grade 4 array diagrams. At the same time, he also became a superior fourth-grade array master. At this moment, he had a total of more than 30 grade 1 to grade 3 formations and 5 grade 4 formations. Among the 5 grade 4 array diagrams, 2 were offensive array formations, 2 were support array formations, and the last one was defensive array formation. It was already late at night, and Ji Yu fell asleep after drawing the array diagram. The next morning, the Cheng family sent someone to deliver a sumptuous breakfast. Ji Yu watched as the Cheng family servant placed a breakfast that was enough for 2 people on the table. He immediately said, I only need a single portion. This is too much. One had to know that Xiaogu did not need to eat and might not like the food that humans usually ate. Such a large portion of breakfast might be wasted in the end. Understood. The Cheng family servant did not ask anything and just nodded. He knew very well that he was only a servant and had no right to say anything to this young master. Then, he followed Ji Yu's request and took back one of the portions of breakfast. After breakfast, Ji Yu and Xiaogu left Feng Lin courtyard together. He had too many unused array diagrams, so he planned to sell them. He only needed to keep the 5 grade 4 array diagrams. As for the remaining 30 or so grade 1 to grade 3 array diagrams, he should be able to sell them for quite a bit of money. However, halfway through, he coincidentally bumped into Cheng Yiye and Cheng Jiangjiang. We were just about to look for you. Where are you going? Cheng Jiangjiang immediately asked when he saw Ji Yu. I just want to sell some array diagrams. Ji said. Sell array diagrams? Cheng Jiangjiang suddenly reacted. We're going to participate in the auction that the Array Master Association is holding today. You can come with us. Okay, Ji nodded. An auction held by the Array Master Association. That was indeed possible. He could put his array diagrams up for auction and auction them all off when the time came. A single one of them might not be worth much, but if a whole bunch of them were to be sold, the value would be high. Then let's go now, Cheng Jiangjiang said. We came to find you just now to ask if you want to participate in the auction with us. Then Ji and the others came to the Array Master Association again. The number of people at the Array Master Association today was obviously at least twice as much as yesterday. After all, there was an auction today, and many people like to watch the show. In many cases, the more ordinary the people, the more they like to watch the intense competition between the rich and powerful families. Ji was not very familiar with the Array Master Association, so she followed Cheng Yi and Cheng Jiangjiang to the auction venue. The venue was very spacious and had a total of 3 floors. On the first floor, there was a large group of ordinary people crowded there like a swarm of bees. On the second floor, there were some VIP rooms that were specially provided for those who were more wealthy. On the third floor, there were the most luxurious suites. Only the big shots of the big families could stand there. Ji naturally sat with Cheng Yi and Cheng Jiangjiang in a luxurious suite on the third floor that was closer to the front. In the middle of the venue, there was a high platform. This high platform was to display the auction items. At this moment, there was already a tall and beautiful woman with a hot figure standing on the high platform. This gorgeous woman was obviously the auctioneer in charge of this auction. Before the auction started, many people's eyes were attracted by this gorgeous woman. This is the auctioneer in charge of this auction, Ling Yao. At this moment, Cheng Jiangjiang, who was sitting at the side, introduced her to Ji. Ji only glanced at the gorgeous woman indifferently and did not pay much attention to her. Ding! Host resisted the temptation. Silver level willpower gained experience, won by 999 times. This Ling Yao seemed to know some kind of charm that could charm in. Most ordinary people would fall for it. However, Ji was not an ordinary person. This little bit of charm was like nothing to him. A silver level willpower was no joke. To put it bluntly, he had seen many beauties who were prettier than Ling Yao. Chapter 468. Cheng Jiangjiang was a little surprised to see Ji Yu's calm demeanor. This Ling Yao's art of seduction was famous. Who knew how many men had been subdued by Ling Yao's pomegranate skirt? But Ji Yu was not moved in the slightest. Cheng Jiangjiang couldn't help but feel a trace of doubt. Was this guy really such a gentleman? Although Ji Yu and the others were already seated in the VIP room, the auction wasn't going to start yet. Ji Yu, the auction won't start for another hour. You should take this opportunity to have your formation diagrams appraised. Cheng Jiangjiang reminded Ji Yu at this moment. Okay. Ji Yu immediately stood up and left the VIP room. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth rank superior level movement technique, shadowless lightning flash, obtained experience points, won by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth rank superior level movement technique, shadowless lightning flash, obtained experience points, won by 999 times. It didn't take long for Ji Yu to find the right place. First of all, she had to apply for the right to auction items from the service staff at the front desk. Only after successfully applying for the right to auction items would they be able to put them up for auction. As the auction was about to begin, there were many people applying for the right to auction items. However, she soon discovered that most of the people who applied for the right to auction items were unable to pass. After all, for such an important auction, the items that were put up for auction were definitely going to be quite impressive. After waiting in line for more than 10 minutes, it was finally Ji Yu's turn. Sir, may I ask if you also want to apply for the right to auction items? The service staff in charge of receiving Ji Yu smiled politely. Although this young man was quite young, he could very well be a young master from a large family clan. After working as a service staff in the Formation Master Association for so many years, he knew very well that no matter who it was, One couldn't judge them based on their appearance. That's right. Ji nodded. As he spoke, he took out the formation diagrams from his storage ring one after another. Coincidentally, the first formation diagram he took out was a first-grade formation diagram. The service staff immediately furrowed his brows upon seeing this. It seemed that he had misjudged the other party. The other party was just an ordinary youth. Just as he was about to bid farewell to the young man, Ji took out a third-grade array diagram. Moreover, it was one of the better formations among the third grade. Seeing this, the service staff forcefully swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. The following scenes made him even more flabbergasted. He watched as Ji took out more than 30 formations in one go, leaving only 5 fourth-grade formations in her storage ring. And this black-clothed youth in front of them actually took out 11 third-grade formations and 18 second-grade formations at once. These 11 third-grade formations were more than all the third-grade formations that they had received from other people combined. Moreover, among these 11 third-grade formations, there were 2 or 3 that were more superior. Elder Lin felt that this black-clothed youth in front of him must be the young master of some major force. However, he didn't have any impression of him at all, so he was very curious. Ji said. Ji? Elder Lin felt that this name was very familiar when he heard it. In the next moment, he suddenly thought of it. This name was clearly the person who had just become an inferior fourth-grade formation master yesterday. After the news spread yesterday, he was shocked at that time. He didn't expect that it was actually this youth in front of him. It was no wonder that he could take out so many formations at once. In that case, these formations were all drawn by you, young master? Elder Lin asked. That's right, Ji replied. The younger generation will surpass us in time. Truly, the younger generation will surpass us in time. Elder Lin couldn't help but sigh. None of these 30-odd formations were defective, and they were all drawn by the same person. Then, has the right to auction items been approved? Ji asked without changing her expression. Of course, it has been approved. Elder Lin said, these formations will be temporarily handed over to the Formation Master Guild for safekeeping. When the auction starts, there will be auction for you, young master. After the auction ends, our guild usually takes about 5% of the processing fee from others, and the higher the value of the auction item, the higher the processing fee. But for you, young master, we can make an exception and only charge you a 3% processing fee. Chapter 469. It was obvious that Elder Lin was trying to save her a favor. Ji didn't say anything and only nodded slightly. He didn't know how the auction house charged the service fee. He would do whatever Elder Lin said. Just as Ji was about to turn and leave, Elder Lin said, one more thing. Young master, do you want to auction a grade for array diagram? There's no need for that. Ji shook her head. She still had a use for his grade for array diagram. All right then. Elder Lin said, I'll send your array diagram to the auction venue later. Thank you. As soon as he finished speaking, Ji brought Xiao Gu along and left. After that, Ji and Xiao Gu returned to the VIP room. You've been gone for so long, Cheng Jiang said when he saw Ji walk in, because there were too many people. With that, Ji sat down. What kind of array diagrams did you auction? Cheng Jiang asked curiously. Did you auction grade for array diagrams too? No, I only auctioned some very ordinary array diagrams. Ji said casually. To him, those array diagrams were indeed very ordinary. However, at this moment, someone barged in. It was a young man in luxurious clothes and an old man in a black robe. Su Mingyuan, what are you doing in our Cheng clan's auction room? Cheng Jiang said unhappily when he saw the young man. Ji didn't even bother to turn around. She could sense with her soul power that the young man was only at LV8 defensive mystic realm, while the old man in a black robe was only at LV7 Tongxin realm. However, from the looks of it, the other party didn't seem to be on good terms with Cheng Jiang. I'm here to tell you that your Cheng clan can form an alliance with our Su clan in this auction, the young man named Su Mingyuan said. However, he looked arrogant and didn't have the attitude of someone asking for help at all. There's no need. Cheng Jiang rejected him coldly. Su Mingyuan sneered. I knew you would say that. It'll be too late for you to regret it then. The two of you are not welcome here. Please leave. At this time, one of the Chung family elders who came with Chang Yiye and Chung Jiangjiang stood up and said. However, Su Mingyuan was not afraid of that Chung family elder because the old man beside him was not any weaker than him. At this moment, his gaze landed on the black-clothed youth beside the two women. He asked with concern, "Who is this guy?" "It's none of your business," Chung Jiangjiang said coldly. "Brat, come over here," Su Mingyuan said to the black-clothed youth in a commanding tone. Ji was annoyed by the noisy fly. "Get lost." Su Mingyuan was stunned when he heard the word "get lost." He simply could not believe that this kid who came out of nowhere actually dared to tell him to scram. "Brat, do you know who you're talking to?" Su Mingyuan's face gradually darkened. Just as he was about to explode, the old man at the side suddenly stopped him and whispered something in his ear. He calmed down again. "Brat, you'll see later." Su Mingyuan's eyes were gloomy as he left a ruthless sentence, and then left with the old man. The auction room where the Su family was located was not far away. At this time, Ji shook her head helplessly. It was really strange. Why did all these crooked melons and split dates have to provoke me? "I'm sorry, Ji. That guy just now is the young master of the Su family," Chung Jiangjiang said. "Actually, the Su family's relationship with our Chung family is not bad, but that guy just wants to go against me and my sister. That guy even threatened to take me and my sister as concubines. He's an out-and-out lecher." As she spoke, Chung Jiangjiang began to complain. Obviously, Su Mingyuan brought her a bellyful of anger. "All right, Jiangjiang, don't say any more." At this time, Chang Yiye could not help but remind her. Otherwise, if her sister annoyed Ji Gongzi, it would be bad. Chung Jiangjiang also realized that and stopped. Ji did not feel anything and did not take Su Mingyuan seriously at all. The reason why he did not make a move just now was because fighting was prohibited in the auction. Moreover, he did not want to mess up the auction. After that, if Su Mingyuan did not want to give face, then he would not be merciful. In the following time, the people from the various large powers and clans all arrived one after another. In the end, the time was up and the auction officially began. The time is up, the auction officially begins. On the high platform, Ling Yao spoke. "I'm the auctioneer presiding over this auction, Ling Yao." The ordinary people on the first floor below the platform all applauded enthusiastically. For a time, all kinds of noise and applause mixed together, causing the hall to be very noisy. Next, the first round of the auction began. Ling Yao was currently using her seductive voice to introduce the functions of the formation diagram in her hand to everyone present. This was only the first round, so it was naturally just an appetizer. First-grade formation diagrams, second-grade formation diagrams. Among them were the first and second-grade formation diagrams that Jiyu had given to Elder Lin earlier. Although they were only formation diagrams that weren't too valuable, Ling Yao's bewitching voice had increased their value by more than half. After all, there were many rich people present. Moreover, even if they were not rich, some ordinary people with a little money dared to boldly bid. Their goal was very similar, and that was to win Ling Yao's smile. Even if they could not compete with those large powers and clans, they could still bid for these first and second-grade formation diagrams. Most importantly, those large powers and clans disdained to bid for these first and second-grade formation diagrams. Those people were at least here for the third or fourth-grade formation diagrams. However, Su Mingyuan of the Su clan was a little special. He spent a lot of money to bid for many first and second-grade formation diagrams purely to attract Ling Yao's attention. Ling Yao also understood this guy and deliberately said some slightly ambiguous words to this guy. Su Mingyuan became even more enthusiastic. When the first round ended, the accompanying old man finally could not help but remind him, "Young master, please don't forget the purpose of this auction." "Of course I know. There's no need for you to tell me." Su Mingyuan was a little displeased. Regarding this, the old man could only sigh silently in his heart. However, although Su Mingyuan said this, he was actually concerned in his heart. He really should not have squandered so carelessly. Not to mention that his father had given him a mission. He still had to deal with Cheng Yi and Cheng Jiangjiang later, especially that brat. That brat who dared to be arrogant in front of him. He would definitely make him pay the price. Chapter 470. The Grade 1 and Grade 2 diagrams that Jiyu gave to Elder Lin were all sold at more than half the normal price. What was more interesting was that most of them were bought by Su Mingyuan. Jiyu immediately felt that this guy was really a fool with a lot of money. At the same time, she had to admit that the woman called Ling Yao was really something. It was no wonder that she could host such an important auction alone. Not only was she good at manipulating the atmosphere, but her every word, action, and smile could also stimulate the men in the hall to bid crazily. The only man who could not be affected by Ling Yao was Jiyu. Of course, those who had reached the mystic comprehension realm and above would only be slightly affected, but they would not lose their rationality. At the same time, after the end of the first round, the second round of the auction began. The first item of the second round was one of the 11 Grade 3 diagrams that Jiyu gave. It seemed that the second round was about to begin with the bidding for the third grade array diagrams. Although there were many items to be auctioned, there were actually only 5 rounds of the auction. It was not the kind of auction where there was only one item in each round. The first round of the auction was all Grade 1 and Grade 2 diagrams. The second round of the auction was all Grade 3 diagrams. The third round of the auction was said to be more precious and rare array materials. The fourth round should be the Grade 4 diagrams that the Array Formation Master Association prepared in advance through their internal channels. As for the fifth round of the auction, it would definitely be the last item. It was said that the Grade 5 diagrams were jointly drawn by several Grade 5 Array Masters of the Array Formation Master Association. This was the purpose of those big forces and big families. The auction continued. Jiyu did not have anything she wanted, so she waited quietly. By the way, are you here to bid for the Grade 5 diagrams in the last round? At this time, Jiyu asked Cheng Ye and Cheng Jiangjiang. No, Cheng Ye and Cheng Jiangjiang both shook their heads. Our Cheng family is not willing to spend a sky-high price to compete for that Grade 5 diagram. Let the other forces fight for it. Cheng Jiangjiang said, we just want to bid for some array materials. I see. Jiyu nodded. He felt that he could also see if he should bid for some array formation materials later. It just so happened that he could use the array diagrams that he had auctioned off as payment. After an unknown amount of time, the second round also ended. In the second round, most of the people on the field were not as impulsive, because if they were impulsive again, they would go bankrupt. Even so, with Ling Yao present, those formation diagrams that were auctioned off in the second round were still slightly overpriced. Then, the third round began. A few people pushed a huge counter onto the stage. All kinds of array formation materials were placed on the counter. Jiyu glanced over and saw many rare materials that could be used to draw 4th grade array diagrams. There were even a few that could be used to draw Grade 5 array diagrams. At this moment, Ling Yao specially took out a few materials from the counter and introduced them one by one. After the introduction, she said, next, these materials will be auctioned together. The starting price is 100,000 gold coins, and each bid must not be lower than 1,000 gold coins. Let's begin. As soon as she finished speaking, Ling Yao smiled sweetly. This smile immediately ignited the atmosphere of the scene. 105,000, 110,000, 120,000. Everyone in the field started bidding. However, these people were basically on the second and third floor. After all, at a price of 100,000 gold coins, it had nothing to do with the ordinary people on the first floor. Jiyu looked at the materials in Ling Yao's hands. They could all be used to draw a better Grade 4 array diagram. These rare materials were usually very difficult to buy in the ordinary market. This also meant that he could start bidding now. 200,000. Jiyu was not stingy at all and calmly called out the price. When this voice was heard, the field instantly fell silent. Many people were shocked by Jiyu's bid. F*CK. Who is this? She actually directly called out 200,000 from 120,000. From the sound of it, it's coming from the third floor. It seems to be the auction room where the Chung family is. So it's the Chung family. No wonder they're so generous. I'd better give up. After realizing that the voice came from the Chung family's auction room, most people in the field gave up on the idea of continuing to bid. After all, the Chung family was also a big family and was rich. Their main goal was not these materials, so there was no need to snatch them. Moreover, unless it was necessary, they did not want to casually provoke the Chung family. No one wants to bid. Ling Yao shouted, 200,000 going once, 200,000 going twice. However, at this moment, another voice was heard. I'll bid 300,000. At this moment, almost everyone was shocked. There was actually someone who wanted to compete with the Chung family and had already called out 300,000. However, when they realized that it was young Master Su from the Su family who called out the price, they did not find it strange. After all, they all knew about Su Mingyuan's relationship with the Chung family, especially Su Mingyuan, who was a hedonistic young master who spent money like water. TSK, TSK, TSK. I didn't expect young Master Su to compete with the Chung family so soon. I'm very surprised too. I thought that the Chung family and the Su family would at least start competing in the 4th and 5th round. Su Mingyuan's personality is like that. Just get used to it. At the same time, Su Mingyuan was looking at the Chung family's auction room triumphantly. When he heard that it was that brat who called out the price, he wanted to teach that brat a lesson. He directly increased the price by 100,000 gold coins. That brat definitely could not afford it. However, in the next moment, Ji Yu's indifferent voice was heard again from the Chung family's auction room. 500,000. Since Su Mingyuan wanted to play, then Ji Yu planned to play along with him. As soon as this was said, everyone was shocked. What? 500,000? Is EF asterisk king crazy? Who's the one calling out the price from the Chung family? These materials are not worth 500,000 gold coins. I really don't understand. Maybe this is what it means to be rich. At the same time that everyone was shocked, Su Mingyuan was also shocked. That brat, did he really go crazy? Not only that, even Ling Yao's charming face revealed a shocked expression. Originally, she estimated that these materials would not exceed 200,000 gold coins at most. Now, it had soared to 500,000 gold coins. Moreover, from the voice that came from the Chung family's auction room, it seemed to be a young man. She did not remember that the Chung family had a young master. However, these things did not have much to do with her. She was very happy that the price was so high. Chapter 471. Even though Ji Yu had raised the price to 500,000, Su Mingyuan was still unwilling to give up. 550,000. Su Mingyuan continued to shout. This time, that kid definitely wouldn't be able to shout anymore. 550,000 was still within the range that he could accept. At this moment, the old man at the side could no longer sit still. However, after thinking about it, he decided to let his young master do as he wished. After deducting 550,000, they still had enough gold coins to use. He also knew that his young master was very prideful. He's still shouting. The Su family is really going against the Chung family. They have money. We'll just watch the show. The attitude of the crowd gradually changed from shock to watching the show. Is that young master of the Chung family going to continue to bid? At this moment, Ling Yao deliberately used an extremely seductive voice to ask. Her goal was very clear. She wanted to provoke the Chung and Su families to bid higher. As for whether the Chung family or the Su family would be tricked in the end, she didn't care. At the same time, in the Chung family's auction room, Ji Yu stopped shouting. Chung Ye and Chung Jiangjiang hurriedly tried to dissuade her. It's useless to be angry with that guy. It's okay. I have my own plans. Ji Yu said. After Ji Yu said that, Chung Ye and Chung Jiangjiang couldn't say anything else. They could only be anxious. 800,000, Ji Yu shouted again. The bidding price was getting higher and higher, and the noise in the auction room was getting louder and louder. Everyone thought that the Chung family had really gone crazy. What's wrong with this kid? Su Mingyuan's expression became a little ugly. He hesitated in his heart. Should he continue to bid? If he did, he would lose too many gold coins. However, he didn't want to lose to that kid. At this moment, the old man couldn't sit still anymore. However, just as he was about to persuade him, Ling Yao on the stage spoke first. Young Master Su, if you don't continue to bid, you will lose to the young master of the Chung family. At this moment, not only did Ling Yao use an extremely seductive tone, but she also deliberately showed a trace of disappointment. Her words and expression made Su Mingyuan lose his mind. He didn't want to lose to that brat, and he didn't want to lose face in front of the beauty. The old man at the side turned pale with fright. Based on his understanding of his young master, this time his young master would definitely go crazy. But it was too late for him to stop it. I bid 1 million. Su Mingyuan shouted angrily without regard for anything else. Silence. The crowd instantly quieted down. No one expected that Su Mingyuan would actually raise the bid to 1 million in a fit of anger. The materials that were worth at most 100,000 gold coins have been multiplied several times, directly to 1 million gold coins. Today was an eye-opener for them. The corners of Ling Yao's mouth curled up slightly. She had only provoked him casually, but Su Mingyuan had really fallen for it. Now, she was wondering if she should continue to provoke that young man from the Chung family. At this moment, Ji was speechless. This guy was really stupid beyond measure. He had been fooled by a woman. In fact, Ji didn't raise the price so high because she wanted to cheat Su Mingyuan. It was just that he had been fooled by Ling Yao. Ji had raised the bid to 800,000 because he had discovered that there was a very rare material among the materials that could be used to draw a fifth-grade array through his purple glazed eyes. But because it hadn't been consecrated, no one else could see it except for him. After all, only he had such a special purple glazed eyes that could see through materials that had been consecrated on the surface, but hadn't. With this material, it was barely worth it to raise the bid to 800,000 gold coins. But now that the price had been raised to 1 million gold coins by that idiot Su Mingyuan, Jiyu felt that it was better to forget about it. There was no need to raise the price anymore, and she wasn't sure if that idiot would continue to go crazy. And even if there was a very rare material hidden inside, the Su family definitely wouldn't be able to find it, so Su Mingyuan couldn't gain any advantage at all. It could be said that he had a net loss of 800,000 gold coins. Next, Ling Yao wanted to use a similar trick to provoke Jiyu. However, Jiyu wasn't moved at all and didn't even bother to respond to that Ling Yao. Ling Yao also knew that the young man from the Chung family wouldn't fall for it, so he shouted, 1 million gold coins once, 1 million gold coins twice, 1 million gold coins thrice. Deal. Congratulations, young Master Su, Ling Yao said with a smile. Hearing Ling Yao's voice and seeing Ling Yao's smile, Su Mingyuan was still very happy. But soon, he would regret it even more than if he had eaten Oreo. On the other side, in the Chung family's auction room, Chung Jiangjiang was excitedly talking to Jiyu. So you deliberately tricked that guy. You're really good. Don't. I didn't plan on tricking that guy. Jiyu was a bit speechless. It's that Ling Yao who tricked him. Anyway, no matter what, Su Mingyuan is in trouble this time. Chung Jiangjiang said happily. After wasting this 1 million gold coins, he won't be able to compete with us anymore. After the farce ended, the third round of the auction continued as usual. Then, it was time to auction off the remaining materials. Jiyu ignored the materials that could only be used to draw third-grade formations. And when it came to the materials that could be used to draw fourth-grade formations or even fifth-grade formations, Jiyu shouted the most ruthlessly. After the incident with Su Mingyuan, everyone in the auction room deeply remembered the young man from the Chung family's auction room. As long as it wasn't a material that they needed, they would directly give up once that young man shouted a price. Because that young man was really too scary, he made young Master Su so miserable. Su Mingyuan, who realized that he had suffered a huge loss, just sat there lifelessly. He didn't say anything, nor did he try to compete with Jiyu. Even if Su Mingyuan still wanted to compete, the old man at the side would definitely stop him even at the cost of his life. As a result, Jiyu would always bid for the materials she wanted at a very reasonable price. Ling Yao wasn't too happy. She was even more concerned about that young man from the Chung family. She seriously suspected that the reason why that young man fought to the death with Su Mingyuan was because of this situation. She even suspected that not only was Su Mingyuan being used by that young man, but she was also being used by that young man. However, in reality, Ji didn't have any thoughts at all. From the beginning to the end, he was just bidding for the things that he wanted normally. If Ji knew what Ling Yao was thinking, he would probably be completely speechless. He clearly didn't do anything, but these guys inexplicably thought of him like that. Chapter 472. Unknowingly, the third round of the auction had also ended. Jiyu had won quite a few array formation materials, all of which could be used to draw 4th grade and 5th grade array formations. The price was also quite reasonable, making him quite satisfied. He also realized that it was because of the competition with Su Mingyuan that allowed him to win these materials so easily. The 4th round is about to begin. There aren't many items to be auctioned in this round, only 3 4th grade array formations. Ling Yao smiled sweetly. Under the expectant gazes of the crowd, 3 scrolls appeared on the auction table. First, Ling Yao picked up the first scroll. This scroll was dark purple in color. The first scroll is an upper-grade 4th grade defensive array personally drawn by our Array Master Guild's Elderling. It can set up the defensive array, Jadewater Green Armor Array. Ling Yao introduced the array formation's functions in detail. The Jadewater Green Armor Array, even among 4th grade defensive arrays, is a relatively high-grade array formation. Once this array formation is activated, it can at most withstand the full power attack of a cultivator at the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Next, everyone can start bidding. The starting price is 300,000 gold coins, and each bid must not be lower than 5,000 gold coins. As his voice fell, people from various large powers began to fiercely bid. After all, this Jadewater Green Armor Array could withstand the full power attack of a cultivator at the Spirit Profound Realm. And on the surface, the Shattering Army Empire did not have any cultivators at the Spirit Profound Realm. So this Jadewater Green Armor Array was an extremely good life-saving method. 310,000, 350,000, 400,000. The bidding became more and more intense. In the end, it was won by Chung Jiangjiang at a price of 1,500,000 gold coins. From the looks of it, Chung Yi and Chung Jiangjiang's goal in participating in this auction was the Jadewater Green Armor Array. And Ji did not participate in the bidding. His own cultivation was at the Spirit Profound Realm, so he did not need this Jadewater Green Armor Array. Moreover, he would not compete with Chung Yi and Chung Jiangjiang, but he also gained some benefits. Ding! Host has taken a look at the upper grade, 4th grade defensive array formation, Jadewater Green Armor Array, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the upper grade, 4th grade defensive array, Jadewater Green Armor Array. That was to comprehend all kinds of information regarding the Jadewater Azure Armor formation through the system. This time, Su Mingyuan felt even more uncomfortable. Others had spent more than 1,000,000 gold coins to buy a defensive formation that was very useful, while his 1,000,000 gold coins were just a pile of useless trash. At this moment, he hated that brat in the Chung family's auction room to the bone. He felt that it was that brat who had caused him to become so miserable. He had been deliberately set up by that brat. The second scroll was created by a mysterious formation master. It's a superior 4th grade auxiliary formation, the teleportation formation. At this moment, Ling Yao started to introduce the second formation diagram. After setting up the teleportation point, you can use this formation to teleport to any teleportation point within the limits of the formation. The starting price is 400,000 gold coins, and each bid must not be lower than 5,000 gold coins. Although Ling Yao purposely didn't mention the maximum range of the teleportation array, the people from the major powers had a rough idea of the actual range of the teleportation array. After a round of bidding, the final price was set at 185 million gold coins. Because this type of auxiliary formation was relatively rare, its price was slightly higher than that of the defensive formation, the Jade Water Armor formation. Ding! The host has taken a look at the superior 4th grade auxiliary formation diagram, the teleportation formation, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully comprehending the superior 4th grade array, the teleportation formation. This time, GU still benefited from it. Next was the last formation diagram of this round. The third scroll was drawn by a young man named GU during yesterday's Formation Master examination, the inferior 4th grade array, the Burning Earth Flame formation. Although its grade isn't as high as the previous two formations, only being inferior 4th grade, its actual quality isn't inferior to that of a middle grade 4th grade array. Moreover, it was created by that kind of formation genius. The starting price is 200,000 gold coins, and each bid must not be lower than 3,000 gold coins. Everyone, please begin. Ling Yao emphasized that formation genius. This name could raise the price of this Burning Earth Flame formation by quite a bit. 230,000, 230,000, 250,000. In the end, the bidding price was raised to 1,390,000 gold coins. This price was much higher than the normal price of an inferior 4th grade array, and it wasn't much lower than that of the Jade Water Armor formation. The reason why the price was so high was because the person who drew this formation diagram was a genius young man. The faction that won this formation diagram would have a better chance of befriending that genius young man. If they really befriended him, the benefits would be endless. GU didn't expect that the Burning Earth Flame formation he drew would be auctioned by the Formation Master Guild. He also didn't expect that this inferior 4th grade array would be auctioned at such a high price. However, since it was auctioned, he would be able to obtain 97% of the 1,390,000 gold coins, which was beneficial to him. Therefore, it didn't matter to him. Finally, the auction came to an end. The 5th round of the auction, which was also the finale, was about to begin. Now, let's begin the final round of the auction. After Ling Yao finished speaking, many guards appeared in the surroundings of the arena, especially one of them who was at the 9th level of the Tongxian realm. Obviously, this was to prevent people from causing trouble at such a crucial moment, or even stealing treasures. At the same time, it could be seen how important this final round of the auction was. Then, Ling Yao displayed the item for this round of the auction. It was a scroll with golden edges, and one could see the golden light flickering on it. This is the final auction item for this year's auction. Compared to before, Ling Yao was much more serious now. This is the superior 5th grade defensive formation diagram, 5 Suns Defense Formation, which was drawn by the Formation Master Guild's president, vice president, and various elders. This formation can easily defend against the attack of a Spirit Profound Realm expert, and its range is extremely wide. However, it requires at least 5 martial artists at the 9th level of the Tongxian realm to work together in order to activate this 5 Suns defense formation. It is very suitable to be used as a defensive formation to protect clans and sections. I believe that many of the important figures here are here for this 5 Suns defense formation. Our Formation Master Guild has shown our sincerity by bidding for this formation diagram at a price lower than the superior 5th grade array diagrams obtained through other channels. The starting price will be 3 million gold coins, and each increment must be no less than 50,000 gold coins. This time, Ling Yao didn't use any methods to provoke the crowd. Perhaps the value of this 5 Suns defense formation was so high that he didn't need to stir up the atmosphere or stimulate the auction. After all, many of the great powers and clans present were here specifically for this 5 Suns defense formation. Chapter 473. Ding! Host has taken a look at the superior Grade 5 defensive array diagram, 5 Suns defense array, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the superior Grade 5 defensive array diagram, 5 Suns defense array, Looking at the array diagram in Ling Yao's hand, Jiyu comprehended it once again. The starting price of the 5 Suns defense array was 10 times higher than the 4th grade array diagram. Other than the powerful families on the 3rd floor, no one dared to participate. Just the starting price alone was 3 million. The final price would definitely be at least a few million. Not those powerful families, but they really couldn't afford to compete. 3,500,000. For a million. 5 million. There weren't many people bidding, but each one was fiercer than the last. In the blink of an eye, the bidding price had reached 5 million and above. Other than the Chung family and a few other families, the other families were bidding, and the Su family was also in the list of competitors. The reason why Su Mingyuan came to the treasure appraisal convention this time was mainly because his father had specially instructed him to get the 5 Suns defense array for the finale. Originally, the blue merchant card that his father gave him contained 15 million gold coins, and there was a high chance that he would be able to get the finale array diagram this time. However, after his previous squandering, there were only 12 million gold coins left in the blue merchant card. Whether or not he could get the 5 Sun defense array was another matter. If his father knew that he had squandered gold coins like that, he would definitely be punished when he returned. Su Mingyuan gritted his teeth, hoping that he could successfully get the 5 Suns defense array this time. When the bidding went up to more than 7 million, he began to bid 8 million. Hearing that it was Su Mingyuan's voice, everyone started to discuss. Isn't that Su Mingyuan? After wasting so many gold coins on him previously, he can still compete for this 5 Suns defense array? Who asked the Su family to be a wealthy family? It wouldn't be a problem for them to take out 10 million gold coins. However, although the Chung family isn't participating this time, the Su family still has many strong competitors. It's really hard to say who will get the 5 Suns defense array in the end. Just as the crowd was discussing, someone immediately shouted a higher price. 8,500,000. Su Mingyuan did not back down. 9 million. 9,800,000. 10 million. 15 million. Another 3 big shots from different forces raised the bidding price step by step without any hesitation. Su Mingyuan felt very anxious, but he only had 12 million gold coins on him. He could only increase it slightly. 16 million. As soon as he called out the price, someone else immediately followed up. 11 million. 11. 5 million. 12 million. In less than 3 seconds, the bidding price had reached Su Mingyuan's limit. He hardened his heart, gritted his teeth, and said, 12. 6 million. These were all the gold coins he had on him. If this still didn't work, then it would be completely over. He kept praying in his heart that no one would continue to raise the price. At this moment, Ling Yao felt that it was about time, so he began to speak. 12,600,000, going once, 12. 6 million going twice, 12. 6 million. At this moment, Su Mingyuan began to rejoice in his heart. He was about to succeed. However, in the next moment, his hopes were instantly dashed. 14 million. A middle-aged man's deep and domineering voice came from a certain large forces auction next door. Chapter 474. Hearing this bid, Su Mingyuan instantly fell into despair. The others also stopped bidding. 14 million was too high. They couldn't keep up. 14 million going once. 14 million going twice. 14 million going thrice. Sold. Ling Yao said with a smile. The final price of the 5 Suns defense array was 4 million more than what the Array Master Association had expected. Hearing that the bidding price of 14 million had been settled, Su Mingyuan felt even more uncomfortable and almost vomited blood. If he hadn't squandered his gold coins like that, 15 million gold coins would have been enough to buy the 5 Suns defense array. The auction came to an end. The people from the other forces were chatting politely. Jiyu, on the other hand, left the auction venue after receiving the materials that he bought. As for the gold coins that he had to pay for the materials, they were all offset by the array diagrams that he sold. After the offset, he still got close to 1 million gold coins. After all, he sold a total of 1 4th grade array diagram, 11 third-grade array diagrams, 18 second-grade array diagrams, and 5 first-grade array diagrams. The total price of the array diagrams added up to a huge amount. He returned to Fenglin Courtyard in the Chung Mansion to rest for a day. The next day, he went to the Array Master Association again to participate in the Array Master class. The reason why the Array Master class was scheduled for the day after the auction. It wasn't a coincidence. It was because those who could participate in the Array Master class were those who had a certain amount of gold coins in the auction or those who had a high enough status. Jiyu had sold more than 2 million gold coins in the auction yesterday. Moreover, he had sold the array diagrams that were worth more than 3 million gold coins. It was far more than what was required to participate in the Array Master class. He found an empty corner to sit down and quietly listen to the Array Master class. Ding! Host has listened to the Array Master class for 1 minute. Array Master gained experience points, won by 999 times. Ding! Host has listened to the Array Master class for 1 minute. Array Master gained experience points, won by 999 times. After more than an hour, the Array Master class ended. Jiyu could feel that she would soon break through to become a 5th-grade Array Master. Her harvest this time was not bad. At the same time, she also understood the uses of many unorthodox materials. After the end of the Array Formation class, Jiyu left the Array Formation Guild and planned to leave the Shattering Army Empire. The Bedlam Lands was located in the northwestern part of the southern region. After crossing the Shattering Army Empire, he would arrive at the Bedlam Lands. The Fringe was the best place to hone one's strength. When the time came, Ji would try her best not to let Xiao Gu help her, unless it was a matter of life and death. If he blindly relied on Xiao Gu, then he would probably be able to do as he pleased in the entire southern region. That would be meaningless, and it would be difficult to improve himself. After making her decision, she bid farewell to the Chung clan and the others. Then, Ji left the royal city and the Shattering Armory Empire. However, not long after he left the royal city, suddenly, he felt as if someone was following him. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained. Won by 999 times. Through her soul perception, Jiyu sensed that the other party was an old man in his twilight years. Then, she sensed more clearly. Only then did she realize that it was the old man who had been following Su Mingyuan during the auction. His cultivation was at the 7th tier of the Tongxian realm. Jiyu did not need to think too much about this. The other party was definitely here to find trouble with her. At the same time, Xiao Gu also sensed the old man following her. However, she acted as if nothing had happened because she knew that Jiyu could easily deal with that old man. Jiyu did not even turn his head. Instead, he activated his mental strength, and the small golden sword instantly appeared around him. Ding! Host has activated mental strength, gold level mental strength experience gained. Won by 999 times. With a single thought, like an arrow, the small golden sword rapidly flew towards the old man's hiding spot. Ding! Host has used gold sharp blade, gold level mental strength experience gained. Won by 999 times. Only now did Jiyu know that the small golden sword's real name was Gold Sharp Blade. At this moment, the old man, who was hiding in the dark, only saw a golden light flash before his eyes. Then, his mental strength and willpower suddenly collapsed. A perfectly fine person's mental strength and willpower collapsed in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Jiyu had already walked far away, because he knew that the old man would not be able to reverse the situation. After testing the power of the Gold Sharp Blade, he felt quite satisfied. Martial artists below the Spirit Profound realm would probably not be able to withstand his Gold Sharp Blade. As for those above the Spirit Profound realm, although their mental strength had improved by leaps and bounds, they should not be able to completely defend against this Gold Sharp Blade. They would more or less be affected. The Gold Sharp Blade and the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light were both formless and terrifying killing moves that targeted mental strength. Chapter 475. Due to the remote location of the Bedlam, It was quite a distance away from the vanquishing army empire. Ji was carried by Xiao Gu, and it took almost a day to reach the bedlam. At this moment, in front of Ji was a small and broken city wall. It gave off an ancient aura. Broken city walls were everywhere. All of them were only a few dozen meters long. He did not know what had happened here before. Why did it become like this? Ding. Host has taken a step. Upper Earth rank movement technique, shadowless lightning flash, gained experience. Won by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Upper Earth rank movement technique, shadowless lightning flash, gained experience. Won by 999 times. Ji walked step by step through the ruins. Poor wanderers could be seen everywhere. There weren't many houses in the vicinity that were barely habitable. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength gained experience. Won by 999 times. Ji used his soul strength to sense. He found that most of the wanderers were only at the tempered body realm, and there were not many who were at the defensive profound realm. At this time, Ji was wondering if he had come to the wrong place. Was this really the bedlam? Ji took out the map and looked at it carefully again before he found his current location. He then found that he had accidentally wandered into the slums of the bedlam. Moreover, this slum was the ruins of a small city. Ji casually found a local poor person and asked about it before she found out. 100 years ago, this small city was invaded by the people of the bedlam. They burned, killed, looted, and plundered everything. The few who survived did not know where to go because this place was too remote. Most of the survivors chose to stay here and prolong their lives. The small number of people who managed to escape might have been killed by the poisonous insects and exotic beasts on the way. Fortunately, after the invasion 100 years ago, this place was almost completely plundered. The people of the bedlam no longer cared about this place, and very few people came here again. The survivors all sold everything they had, and even tore down the city walls to exchange for money from the merchants who passed by. Until now, that was why the city walls looked like they were in sections, not neat and short. In another 10 years, they would be torn down by the local poor people. Ji was not a kind person. The life and death of the poor people here had nothing to do with him. He would not use his own money to help these people he did not know. After asking, Ji casually threw a gold coin to the poor man he had just questioned. Looking at the gold coin in his hand, the poor man was overwhelmed. As of the poor people of the bedlam, he had never seen a gold coin before. "Thank you, young master. Thank you, young master." He hurriedly and gratefully. This one gold coin was enough for him to eat and drink well for a long time. "Young master, please wait a moment." But just as Ji was about to directly pass through the ruins, the poor man suddenly called out to him. "What else do you want?" Ji turned around and asked. "I have a secret that is not really a secret. I wonder if young master is interested." The poor man said in a small voice. He wanted to use this method to repay this young master's kindness. "Speak." Ji was really interested. In the ruins of the city lord's mansion, there are treasures left behind by the last city lord. The poor man said in a small voice. It is said that at the last moment of the city's destruction, the last city lord sacrificed all of his lifespan to form a sealing formation, sealing all of the most precious treasures inside. Until now, no one has been able to break that seal, not even those invaders. But in fact, in addition to that sealing array, there is a weaker seal located under the ruins of the city lord's mansion. After more than 100 years of washing, that sealing array has become much weaker. For young master, breaking that sealing array shouldn't be a big problem. Other than me, not many people know about that sealing formation underground, and they will not easily tell outsiders. Although the treasures inside are quite ordinary, they're still good for young master. In any case, the poor man would not be able to break that sealing formation underground for the rest of his life, so he might as well tell this young master in front of him. Regardless of whether the other party was interested in those treasures or not, he would still repay the favor. As for those precious treasures in the sealing formation, he just mentioned them in passing. It was not that he looked down on this young master, but it had been more than 100 years, and no one had been able to break that sealing formation. After hearing the poor man's words, Jiyu became interested in that ceiling formation. He really wanted to see a formation that no one had been able to break after so many years. Then, Jiyu casually rewarded the poor man with 2 gold coins. The poor man was instantly moved to tears and was very grateful. Receiving 3 gold coins from this young master, he did not have to worry about making a living for a year. Chapter 476. According to what the poor man had said, Jiyu had arrived at the ruins of the city lord's mansion. Among the ruins, there was only one ancient building that was still standing strong. The building was surrounded by a formless array. This was clearly the ceiling array that the poor man had mentioned. Ding! Host has taken a look at the 5th grade ceiling array, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the 5th grade ceiling array. Jiyu had comprehended the 5th grade ceiling array at first glance. She had also comprehended the method to break the array. This ceiling array was able to prevent anything from entering the array's range. Other than breaking the array, the only way to break the barrier was through brute force. To break the barrier of the 5th grade ceiling array, one would need to be at least at the 5th level of the Spirit Profound realm. Although Xiao Gu was there, Jiyu did not want to rely on Xiao Gu unless she had no other choice. Although he needed to become a 5th grade array master to be able to break this array, he was not far from that now. Jiyu still remembered that the poor man had said that there was a weaker ceiling array under the ruins. Once he broke that weaker ceiling array, he might be able to break through to become a 5th grade array master with the help of the system. Thinking up to this point, Jiyu began to use her soul strength to sense the location of the ceiling array. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength gained experience, won by 999 times. In the next moment, Jiyu sensed that the weaker ceiling array was right under her feet. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist art, solitary slaughter fist art. Solitary slaughter fist art gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. The Earth rank inferior fist art, solitary slaughter fist art, has successfully broken through to the initial success realm. After that, Jiyu directly punched the ground under her feet and cracked it open. She even broke the ceiling array underneath. Ding! Host has taken a look at the 3rd grade ceiling array, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the 3rd grade ceiling array. Ding! The host has cracked the 3rd grade ceiling array. Array formation attainment has gained 999 times the experience. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the inferior 5th stage array master. With the 999 times array formation mastery experience gained from cracking the grade 3 ceiling array, Jiyu instantly broke through to become an inferior grade 5 array master. This also meant that he could break open the grade 5 ceiling formation. But at this moment, the ground beneath his feet collapsed. Jiyu landed on the ground. It was a good opportunity to collect all the treasures hidden here, regardless of whether they were valuable or not. After going down, they found that there was a secret chamber below. Most of the things in the secret chamber were placed on the side, so only a few things were pressed down by the collapsed stones. You couldn't be bothered to care about the things that were suppressed. Ding! The host has activated the gold level spiritual power. The experience gained from the gold level spiritual power is 1 by 999 times. He immediately activated his spiritual power and stowed everything into his storage ring. Then, he jumped out of the big hole above. Jiyu then walked to the grade 5 ceiling formation from before and prepared to crack this grade 5 ceiling formation. Jiyu, I can break this thing with one punch. At this moment, Xiao Gu suddenly spoke. No need, I could do it myself. Jiyu smiled. A few minutes later, ding, the host has cracked the grade 5 ceiling formation. The experience gained from the array formation attainment is 999 times the experience gained. Although the cracking method was a little troublesome, Jiyu's cracking speed was still very fast since she was familiar with the method. At this moment, the invisible barrier in front of her disappeared instantly. Jiyu could now enter. She directly pushed open the door and entered the building. She saw gold, silver, jewelry, pills, artifacts, formation diagrams, secret manuals, materials. There were all kinds of treasures everywhere. However, Jiyu didn't have the time to examine them carefully. She directly put them all into her storage ring. Ding! The host has activated the gold level spiritual power. The experience gained from the gold level spiritual power is 1 by 999 times. After putting away all the treasures, Jiyu left the building. It wouldn't be long before this building was torn down by the slums. At this moment, Jiyu had already left the ancient city ruins. According to the map, after leaving the ancient city ruins, she still had to pass through a desert before she could reach the only prosperous city in the Bedlam lands, the Bedlam City. In such a harsh Bedlam, the desert was naturally full of dangers. Not only did she have to be careful of poisonous insects and mutated beasts, but she also had to be careful of humans. After all, most of the humans in the Bedlam lands were extremely evil. There were very few slums like the ancient city ruins, as well as young talents like Jiyu who came here to train. People like Jiyu were naturally very few. After all, even a profound Ascension Realm cultivator couldn't guarantee their safety in a place like the Bedlam lands. Chapter 477. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth ranks superior grade, shadowless lightning flash gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience. 1 by 999 times. While walking in the desert, Jiyu looked at the things he had received from the storage ring. Apart from those gold, silver, and jewelry that he didn't need to care about, he roughly swept through the rest of the items. Pills, formation diagrams, artifacts, and the like. Most of them were of the 3rd rank, and a few of them were of the 4th rank. There were also many profound rank and even earth rank mystic skills, cultivation methods, and secret techniques. The value of these treasures was very high, and there were so many of them. This time, Jiyu could be said to have struck it rich overnight. First, Jiyu took out 2 of the 4th rank artifacts from the storage ring. One was a long spear that flickered with silver light, while the other was a thin green robe made of special silk. These 2 were both of the 4th rank artifacts. The one that attracted Jiyu's attention the most was the long spear that flickered with silver light. Whether it was the spear or the handle, they were all silver. Actually, the most important thing was that he was very interested in the way of the spear. It was just that he had never had the opportunity to come into contact with the way of the spear. Let's call it the pure silver spear. Jiyu looked at the silver spear in his hand and thought to himself. Then, he looked at the thin green robe in his other hand. As for the other one, let's call it the thin green silkworm robe. Jiyu thought of a name for these 2 artifacts. Right at this moment, Jiyu suddenly realized that she had missed a piece of paper and had not noticed it. Only then did he realize that this piece of paper was somewhat familiar. Ding! Host has taken a look at the 3rd volume of the King Rank Cultivation Method Sky Splitter, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, Host. You have successfully comprehended the 3rd level of the King Rank Cultivation Method Sky Splitter. Jiyu was pleasantly surprised. This piece of paper that he had accidentally found was actually the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter Cultivation Method. He had been stuck at the 2nd layer of the King Rank Cultivation Art Sky Splitter for a long time, and his physique had also stopped at the 9th grade spirit body. This time, his constitution finally broke through to the Xian body. The mysterious heavenly continents physiques were divided into the following categories: mortal physique, spiritual physique, mystic physique, monarch physique. Jiyu didn't know if there was a higher level of physique after that. The Xian body was above the spirit body. Now, Jiyu had automatically broken through from the 9th grade of the spirit body to the 1st grade of the profound body after comprehending the 3rd layer of the heaven splitter technique. Ding! Host has cultivated Xian Qi for 1 minute. Martial arts cultivation experience gained. 525 by 999 times. Ding. Host has cultivated Xian Qi for 1 minute. Martial arts cultivation experience gained. 525 by 999 times. Ji tried to cultivate for a while, and sure enough, her cultivation efficiency improved. Just as he was about to start upgrading the 3rd stage of the Sky Splitter technique, he suddenly sensed that someone was rushing towards him from the side. Ding. Host has used Spiritual Perception. Spiritual Perception experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Using his spiritual perception, he realized that it was a young woman being chased by a group of black-robed people. The young woman's cultivation was at the peak of the 9th grade of the defensive profound realm. The other group consisted of a young man and 4 middle-aged men. Apart from a young man who was only at the 9th grade of the defensive profound realm, the other 4 middle-aged men were all at the Tongxian realm. Although he didn't know the reason, the young woman was probably being chased. However, Ji didn't want to care about this trivial matter that had nothing to do with him. In a place like the Bedlam lands, almost everyone was an enemy. Meddling in other people's business wasn't a wise thing to do. Ji pretended that he didn't notice anything and continued to walk forward. As he walked, he prepared to upgrade his technique. Not long after, the young woman and the 5 black-robed people that Ji had just since appeared in his line of sight. The young woman and the 5 black-robed people naturally noticed Ji and Xiao Gu, who was beside Ji. The young woman saw hope. Her eyes flashed as she charged towards the black-robed youth. After getting close to the black-robed youth, she directly hugged him. "What are you doing?" However, Ji blocked the young woman's head with one hand, preventing her from touching him. The young woman in front of him had fiery red hair, and her black clothes wrapped around her curvaceous figure. Her beauty was naturally top-notch. However, compared to the beauties that Ji had seen before, this young woman in front of him paled in comparison. "Husband, it wasn't easy for me to get that thing. Aren't you going to give me a hug?" At this moment, the young woman suddenly acted coquettishly and said. Hearing this, Ji couldn't help but be slightly stunned. What the hell was this? However, Ji quickly reacted. This woman was probably being chased by the 5 black-robed people because she had taken something. Now, she wanted to frame him so that she could escape. He glanced at the 5 black-robed people chasing after him. As expected, they also had a strong killing intent towards him. However, how could he let such a bad woman succeed? Chapter 478. Get lost. Ji's face darkened. Ding. Host swept his leg. Low-grade yellow rank Gale kick. Experience gained. 1*999x. Ding. Congratulations to the host. The inferior yellow-ranked Gale kick has successfully broken through to the initial success stage. The kick was aimed at the woman's abdomen. The woman did not have time to react, let alone dodge. Cough. Blood spilled from the woman's mouth as she was sent flying. She fell to the ground and rolled a few times. She looked at Ji in shock. She did not expect this young man in black to suddenly attack. She also did not expect this young man in black to be so strong. Ji glanced at the woman with a cold and emotionless expression. He did not use any strength in that kick, and it was not something a mere peak level 9 defensive Mystic Rel person could withstand. Then he turned and left. He left behind a sentence. I have nothing to do with her. You can continue. When the 5 black-robed men heard this, they only grabbed the woman and did not dare to act rashly against Ji. Although they did not know where this young man in black came from and how he could subdue this woman so easily, it was fine as long as the item was still there. Handed over obediently, the young man among the 5 men in black grabbed the woman's hair and threatened her. The woman showed a pained expression, but in the next moment, her lips curled into a cold smile. Observing this, the 5 black-robed men immediately realized that something was wrong. *T. At this moment, they sensed that a group of people was rushing towards them in an aggressive manner. Grab her, let's run, the young man hurriedly said, but it was too late. Soon, a group of people surrounded them. Are these the reinforcements you called for? The young man's face was covered in cold sweat as he asked the woman. Only then did he realize that the woman had escaped from his hands. The red-haired woman dragged her injured body to the group of people. Mississippi, the 7 Tongxian realm experts on horseback, greeted her respectfully. But at this moment, they realized that there was something wrong with their miss. "Miss, what happened to you? Why are you injured? Who did this?" "It must be those fellows from the Sioux family. Let's go and avenge the young miss." The 7 immediately glared at the 5 black-robed men. "Now is the time to run," the young man ordered. The other 4 black-robed men immediately fled with the youth. "Chase!" However, just as the 7 people were about to give chase, he was stopped by the red-haired woman. "Cough, cough. Don't chase after him. It's fine as long as we get what we want." The red-haired woman coughed out another mouthful of blood. Her face was pale and weak. "Miss, are you all right?" The 7 of them had no choice but to obey and check on their young miss's condition. "I'm fine. Someone else caused me to become like this," the red-haired woman explained. "Who are they? Let's hurry up and bring the things back. We'll talk about it on the way back." At the same time, Ji was already far away. Naturally, he could sense that those people were all at Tongxian realm and above. If he wasn't mistaken, he should be that woman's accomplice. As for those 5 black-robed men, they were probably doomed. However, this matter had nothing to do with Ji. He couldn't be bothered to go back and deal with that woman again. Not long after, Ji encountered a 3rd-grade demonic beast that was equivalent to a human martial artist at Tongxian realm. It was a huge scorpion that was 2 to 3 meters long. Its stinger flickered with poisonous light. He didn't know the name of this demonic beast. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold grade spiritual power experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Ji took out the pure silver spear from the storage ring. He could use this poisonous scorpion to improve his spear Dao. Ding! Host has fired a shot. Basic spear technique experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations, host. Basic spear technique has successfully broken through to initial success realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Basic spear technique has successfully broken through to mastery realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Basic spear technique has successfully broken through to perfection realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Basic spear technique has successfully broken through to peak of perfection realm. Ding! Detected that basic spear technique has reached perfection realm. Automatically upgraded to inferior yellow rank spear technique, psychedelic spear technique. Ji swung the spear in his hand and broke the poisonous scorpion's pincers. Although he didn't use much strength, the grade 4 artifact, the pure silver spear, was extremely sharp. It easily broke through the poisonous scorpion's tough skin. After the 2 pincers were broken, the poisonous scorpion lost one of its main means of attack. It could only use its stinger to attack Ji. Ding! Host has used inferior yellow rank spear technique, psychedelic spear technique. Psychedelic spear technique experience gained. 999 times. Ding! Congratulations, host. Inferior yellow rank spear technique, psychedelic spear technique, has successfully broken through to initial success realm. However, Ji swung his spear again and broke the poisonous scorpion's tail. Chapter 479. This time, the scorpion's 2 main means of attack were gone. It had almost lost its ability to attack and could only charge forward and bite. However, how could Ji give the scorpion a chance to bite him? Ding! Host has used the inferior yellow-ranked spear art, hallucination spear art. Hallucination spear art obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. The inferior yellow-ranked spear art, hallucination spear art, has successfully broken through to the mastery level. On the 3rd shot, the pure silver spear in Jiu's hand destroyed the scorpion's head. The scorpion's legs struggled a few times, but its head was already gone. It was too late. Not long later, the scorpion lost all signs of life. Its poisonous blood was corroding the desert below. After that, they encountered many second and third stage demonic beasts, but they were all destroyed by Ji-Yu's pure silver spear. Ding! Host has used the inferior yellow-ranked spear art, hallucination spear art. Hallucination spear art obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Host has used the inferior yellow-ranked spear art, hallucination spear art. Hallucination spear art obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. The inferior yellow-ranked spear art, hallucination spear art, has successfully broken through to the mastery level. Ding! Congratulations, host. The inferior yellow-ranked spear art, hallucination spear art, has successfully broken through to the mastery level. Ding! It has been detected that the hallucination spear art has reached the mastery level. It has automatically upgraded to the intermediate yellow-ranked spear art, traceless spear art. Along the way, Ji-Yu spear art kept on breaking through. It directly upgraded to the intermediate yellow-ranked spear art. At this time, Ji-Yu was about to leave the desert and reach Chaos City. Only when he saw more and more buildings around him did he know that he had arrived at Chaos City. However, this was still a desert, but there were no more demonic beasts around, and there were more people than before. To be precise, this should be the border between the desert and Chaos City. Ji-Yu continued to move forward. The desert on the ground became less and less, and the surrounding buildings and people became more and more numerous. Ji suddenly felt a little puzzled and used his soul force to feel around. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength, experience gained. 1 by 999 times. In the end, he discovered that there were no city walls in the vicinity. But Ji took another look at the map. She was indeed in the Chaos City. It was just that this was a slightly more remote area. From the looks of it, the City of Chaos had no walls at all. Compared to normal towns and cities, the pandemonium was a bit strange. Don't underestimate the pandemonium just because it was the capital of the Kanglan Empire. It was at least 3 times larger than the capital city of the Kanglan Empire. Compared to the entire Kanglan Empire, pandemonium was about 1/4 the size of the Kanglan Empire. This was considered very large for a capital city. Inadvertently, Ji passed by a mansion. He saw many laborers transporting things into the mansion. Ji looked up and discovered that they were in the Yao residence. At this moment, he suddenly sensed a somewhat familiar aura. He subconsciously turned around and saw the red-haired woman he met in the desert. "It's you." At the same time, the red-haired woman saw Ji and exclaimed in surprise. "What a coincidence, we meet again." Ji spoke as if he was an old acquaintance of the other party. "It's him." The red-haired woman immediately pointed at Ji and said with a gloomy expression, "It's this guy who injured me before." As soon as she said this, the 7 Tongxian realm experts beside the red-haired woman immediately erupted with intense hostility toward Ji. "You're the brat who injured our young miss? Brat, do you know who our young miss is? Today, we'll make you pay a price." In the blink of an eye, the 7 Tongxian experts dismounted from their horses and surrounded Ji menacingly. At the same time, the laborers who were transporting the goods deliberately slowed down, as if they wanted to watch the show for a while longer. They did not know how this young man in black offended Miss Yao, but they knew that this young man in black was going to be very, very miserable. Those were 7 Tongxian realm experts. Just the thought of it was terrifying. "You want to fight with me?" However, Ji expression was still calm and even had a trace of smile. It was as if he did not care about the 7 of them at all. "Not only do we want to fight with you, but we also want to cripple your cultivation and break your tendons. That's too boring. Why don't we just chop off all 4 of his limbs and put him in the pigsty as a pig?" That's not a bad idea. We can make this brat suffer a fate worse than death." Before they even made a move, those people had already thought of how to deal with this black-clothed youth in front of them. "Then I'm sorry to disappoint you," the young man in black said calmly. A silver spear appeared in his hand. Chapter 480. "Oh, you still want to resist? I'll go and take care of him first." One of the 7 Tongxian experts walked towards Jiyu with a ferocious smile on his face. Such a young brat. How high could his strength be? He alone was enough to take care of him. However, before he could take 2 steps, he realized that the black-clothed youth had disappeared, following which a cold glint flashed across his eyes. Ding! Host has executed the yellow rank intermediate level spear art, traceless spear art. Traceless spear art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations, host. The yellow rank intermediate level spear art, traceless spear art, has broken through to initial mastery. That person's head was pierced through by Jiyu's pure silver spear, and he fell to the ground dead. The other 6 Tongxian realm men were still in a daze. Their expressions were still frozen on their faces from a second ago. In the next moment, they regained their senses and their expressions froze. Even the laborers who were carrying the goods around were stunned in place. All of them stared at Jiyu in disbelief. This youth, who exactly is he? All of you will be buried together with him. Jiyu pointed her spear at the 6 Tongxian realm experts and said indifferently, Ding! Host has executed the yellow rank intermediate level spear art, traceless spear art. Traceless spear art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Host has executed the yellow rank intermediate level spear art, traceless spear art. Traceless spear art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations, host. The yellow rank intermediate level spear art, traceless spear art, has broken through to mastery. Ding! Congratulations, host. The yellow rank intermediate level spear art, traceless spear art, has broken through to perfection. Jiyu, 1 person and 1 spear, used various methods to kill the remaining 6 people. Just as the 6 Tongxian realm experts had the thought of escaping, they lost consciousness. Seeing this, the laborers who were carrying the goods also fled in all directions without a care for the consequences. They all thought that this black-clothed youth was an enemy of the Yao residence and could possibly destroy the entire Yao residence. They hastily cut ties with the Yao manor and ran as far as they could. However, Jiyu completely ignored these strong laborers. She turned to look at the red-haired woman. The red-haired woman was so scared that her face turned pale and her legs trembled slightly. I want to hand you over to those black-robed men, but I didn't expect you to survive. Jiyu said indifferently. If that's the case, then I'll personally deal with you this time. No, don't. The red-haired woman felt weak all over and immediately sat down on the ground. His face was filled with fear and despair. At this moment, she was filled with regret. If he hadn't called out to her just now, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. No, from the very beginning, she shouldn't have come into contact with this young man. However, it was already too late for her to regret. In response, Jiyu's eyes were filled with indifference. He walked in front of the red-haired woman without a change in expression, and without hesitation, he pierced the other party's throat with his gun. Ding! Host has performed the middle-class yellow spear art, traceless spear art. Traceless spear art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Middle-class yellow spear art, traceless spear art. Traceless spear art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Detected that traceless spear art has reached perfection. Automatically upgraded to upper-class yellow spear art, vanishing spear art. After killing the red-haired woman, Jiyu sensed that there were people running inside the Yao Manor's main gate. It was obvious that the people of the Yao clan had seen what had just happened and were running to report to the Yao clan's patriarch or elder. Thinking of this, Jiyu immediately walked toward the Yao clan's residence. In the past, he wouldn't exterminate other people's clans. But later on, he realized that this would always lead to more trouble. Although those troubles were easily dealt with, they were more or less annoying. So this time, Jiyu planned to eliminate those people in the Yao clan's upper echelons who didn't know what was good for them. Before entering the Yao clan's residence, Jiyu also took the red-haired woman's storage ring. He remembered that this woman was being chased after because she took something. Although he wasn't sure what it was, it was always a good idea to take it. Those laborers who hadn't run far discovered that the black-clothed young man didn't pay any attention to them and directly walked into the Yao clan's residence. They immediately felt very fortunate that this young man didn't take them seriously. At the same time, they were deeply moved. Today, the Yao clan that dominated this area was going to suffer a bloody calamity. Chapter 481. Inside the Yao family mansion. In a pavilion, the Yao family patriarch, Yao Yunshan, was playing chess with the Great Elder. Patriarch, suddenly, a voice interrupted the leisurely and peaceful atmosphere. What happened? Yao Yunshan frowned and asked in a low voice. Miss, the man ran over and stuttered because he couldn't catch his breath. It's good that Lin is back. You can leave, Yao Yunshan said calmly. Yao Yunshan thought that the man was going to say that his daughter was back. He didn't find it surprising at all. He had sent 7 mystic comprehending realm elders to support her. There shouldn't be any accidents. However, his opponent's next sentence made his hand, which was about to pick up the chess piece, freeze in midair. Young Miss was killed. The man finally finished his sentence. What did you say? Yao Yunshan was so agitated that he smashed the chess table with his palm. Miss was killed by a young man in black. The man really stuttered this time. He was so frightened by Yao Yunshan's appearance that he stuttered. Where is she? Yao Yunshan asked with a gloomy expression. Just as the man was about to speak, he heard a young man's voice. Are you talking about me? Hearing this voice, the man's expression changed. He turned his head with a stiff expression and found that it was indeed the young man in black from before. Yao Yunshan also looked at the young man and realized that this young man was the same as what his subordinate had described. He had also admitted it. You're the one who killed my daughter? Looking at the young man in black, Yao Yunshan's heart was instantly filled with uncontrollable rage. Ding! Host has made a move. Superior Earth Rank Movement Technique Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained experience. Won by 999 times. Ding! Host has made a move. Superior Earth Rank Movement Technique Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained experience. Won by 999 times. He saw Jiyu holding a silver spear and walking over with an indifferent expression. It's me, Jiyu said calmly. It seems that you want to kill me too. The 7 elders of our Yao family were also killed by you? Yao Yunshan's last shred of rationality made him feel that something was wrong. This young man was too calm, so calm that it was abnormal. In order to survive in the fringe, he had to rely on his instincts. Jiyu nodded slightly, as if confirming an insignificant fact. I understand. Yao Yunshan's expression gradually turned ferocious. Great Elder, let's attack together. No matter what, he would never let this young man go. The enmity of killing his daughter was absolutely irreconcilable. The Great Elder nodded solemnly. Although he couldn't see through the true strength of this black-clothed youth in front of him, he felt that it was very likely that this black-clothed youth wasn't any weaker than him, so he had to be cautious. Jiyu's expression did not change at all. He did not put the 3 people in front of him in his eyes at all. Excluding the lackey who was only here to deliver the news, the Yao clan's clan head and grand elder were only at LV9 Tongxian realm. As for these 2 people, Jiyu could easily destroy them. Ding! Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear art, Vanishing Shadow Spear Art. Vanishing Shadow Spear Art has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear art, Vanishing Shadow Spear Art. Vanishing Shadow Spear Art has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations, Host. The superior yellow-ranked spear art, Vanishing Shadow Spear Art, has successfully broken through to initial success realm. Before the person appeared, the cold light of the spear tip appeared. Before Yao Yunshan could see Jiyu's figure, a cold light flashed in front of his eyes. When he came back to his senses, his abdomen had been pierced. Fortunately, he had used profound qi to protect his body from the start. Otherwise, the power of this spear would have been enough to break his waist. After all, this vanishing shadow spear art was only a superior yellow-ranked mystic spear art. If the spear art was of a higher grade, with the difference in cultivation between Ji and Yao Yinshan would have been dead. Although the opponent's speed was shockingly fast, the battle-hardened Yao Yinshan was not intimidated. His reaction was very fast. He immediately grabbed the spear that had pierced his abdomen and pulled it out with brute force, ignoring the intense pain in his abdomen. At this moment, Yao Yinshan decided to attack as a form of defense. He would use his greatest killing move and risk everything to kill this young man. A treasured saber appeared in Yao Yinshan's hand. The treasured saber emitted a bone-chilling cold. At this moment, the surrounding temperature instantly dropped. The little lackey who had reported earlier immediately hugged himself and squatted there, trembling. In less than a second, he felt like he was about to freeze to death. This was the first time he had experienced what it meant to be a fight between immortals and mortals. He could only hope that the Patriarch and the Great Elder could get rid of the youth as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would really freeze to death here, unable to run even if he wanted to. Is this your strongest technique? You seem to have seen Yao Yunshan's determination. However, in his eyes, this strongest technique was a little too weak. Seeing the trace of contempt in the other party's eyes, Yao Yinshan could not help but be slightly stunned. However, he still held the treasured saber tightly in his hand. His determination would not waver. Forget it. I don't have the leisure to slowly play with you. Ji slightly shook his head and said, "Next, I will send you on your way." Chapter 482. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. Superior yellow-ranked spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique, has successfully broken through to the mastery realm. In the blink of an eye, Ji casually shot Yao Yunshan and knocked him to the ground. Yao Yunshan didn't even have the time to use his strongest killing move before he was seriously injured by Ji's Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Even though the Yao family's great elder hadn't been attacked by Ji before, he didn't dare to act rashly when he saw this. Ji's spear pierced through Yao Yunshan's heart, killing him completely. Then, without any nonsense or hesitation, he directly rushed towards the Yao family's great elder. Seeing that the situation was not good, the great elder immediately wanted to run. But no matter how he ran, he couldn't outrun Ji. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked Shadowless Lightning Flash. Shadowless Lightning Flash obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. The Great Elder, who only knew how to escape and didn't have any defense, directly stabbed his heart from the back. Although it wasn't completely pierced through, the Great Elder was still hanging on to his last breath, but it was no different from death. "Goodbye," Ji lightly said. Once again, he used the spear and completely pierced through the opponent's heart. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. Superior yellow-ranked spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique, has successfully broken through to the mastery realm. At this time, only the lackey was left alive. He was completely dumbfounded. His family's patriarch and great elder didn't even have the strength to resist in the hands of this black-clothed youth. The two strongest experts of the Yao clan were easily killed by a young man. Who would believe him if he told them? Even he, who had witnessed everything with his own eyes, could not believe that what was happening before his eyes was real. This was simply too shocking. Right at this moment, a calm voice jolted him awake from his shock. "Oh, you too." It was as if he had heard the whispers of the devil. His face was instantly filled with fear and despair. In the next second, a silver spear pierced through his head. The people who should be killed were basically all killed. Jiyu acted as if nothing had happened and leisurely walked out of the Yao family residence. Along the way, he encountered some Yao family disciples, but he directly ignored them. These irrelevant people, who were practically powerless, were not worth Jiyu's time. There was no need for Jiyu to attack these people. Those Yao family disciples did not know who this black-clothed youth was. They had never seen him before. However, they only paid a little attention and did not pay much attention to him. After all, they did not know that their eldest miss, several elders, and even the patriarch had been killed by this black-clothed youth. Otherwise, they would not have been able to walk past this black-clothed youth so calmly. That day, what happened in the Yao clan spread quickly. In an instant, it caused a commotion in the nearby area. The Yao clan was the strongest clan in this area. Putting aside the patriarch's daughter, the patriarch Yao Yinshan and Great Elder were both experts at LV9 of the Tongxin realm. The other elders would not be too far off either. But today, they were all killed by a young man. This also meant that the young man's martial cultivation was at least at LV9 Tongxian realm. He must have all kinds of mystic skills, and might even be a spirit profound realm expert. For a young man to be this strong, it was inconceivable to everyone. Under normal circumstances, those who could break through to the Tongxian realm before reaching adulthood were considered super geniuses in the Chaos City. But now a young man who was at least at LV9 Tongxian realm or above appeared. This was simply a huge shock to them. At night, in a tavern, I don't know if you have heard, today, a group of important figures in the Yao clan were massacred. Moreover, they were all killed by a black-clothed youth. How could I not have heard of such a huge matter? Although that young man is very capable, he probably won't be able to laugh for long. The Yao clan has the backing of a powerful force in the Central District. Really? If that's true, then they won't be able to laugh for long. Those powerful forces in the Central District are many times more terrifying than the Yao clan. This time, that young man killed the entire upper echelon of the Yao clan. This is equivalent to harming the interests of those powerful forces in the Central District. When that happens, this matter will be blown up even more. A few tables of guests were discussing the big matter that happened today. However, Jiyu happened to be separated from these people by a wall. Chapter 483. At this moment, Jiyu was drinking tea and resting in a private room. In addition, his hearing was much sharper than normal people's, so he could clearly hear what the people in the room were saying. He didn't really care about what these people were saying about him. However, he received a rather interesting piece of information. That was what these people were saying. The Yao clan had a powerful faction in the central region behind them. The chaotic city was so huge, but it was roughly divided into two regions. The remote regions and the central region. Right now, Jiyu was in the most remote part of the chaotic city. The more remote a place was, the lower the average strength of the cultivators. This was also why the Yao clan was able to dominate this area. Of course, even if this place was very remote and the average strength of the cultivators was low, the Yao clan couldn't dominate this area as they pleased. Another important reason was that the Yao clan had an even more powerful faction behind them. In Jiyu's opinion, the Yao clan and the powerful faction in the central region couldn't possibly have an equal relationship. It should be that the Yao clan was relying on the powerful faction in the central region. To put it bluntly, they were the underlings. As for the benefits that the Yao clan reaped here, that powerful faction would naturally take the lion's share. Now that Jiyu had killed almost all of the Yao clan's upper echelons, the Yao clan's dominant position would no longer exist. Unknowingly, they had even offended the powerful faction there. However, Jiyu didn't really care. On the contrary, he felt that it was quite good. because this was more exciting. When the time came, he could just sweep his way through. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any challenge at all. After resting, Jiyu brought Xiaogu back to the room that he had rented to sleep. The next day, Jiyu didn't stay here any longer. He directly set off for the central region. Since he had provoked an even more powerful faction, he might as well go and take a look. He called for a first-class carriage. The horse was handsome and powerful, and its speed was much faster than that of a normal horse. Just like that, Jiyu and Xiaogu sat in the carriage together and headed to the central region. Ding! Host has used spiritual perception. Spiritual perception obtained experience, won by 999 times. Before setting off, Jiyu casually used his spiritual perception and found that there were people secretly monitoring him. But now that he was in the carriage, he couldn't be bothered to pay attention to those people. After all, they were just a bunch of clowns who could only hide in the dark. It was not worth mentioning at all. Then, the carriage set off. Along the way, Jiyu began to raise the level of her king rank cultivation technique, Sky Splitter. Ding! The host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. The experience gained from the third level of Split the Sky is 1 times 999 times. Ding! The host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. The experience gained from the third level of Split the Sky is 1 times 999 times. Half a day later, when the carriage reached the center of Chaos City, Jiyu finally got out of trance. During this period of time, although Jiyu hadn't been able to break through to the third stage of Heaven Splitter, his physique had already broken through to the second grade of the Profound Body Realm. Ding! Host has cultivated Xian Qi for 1 minute. Martial Arts Cultivation Experience gained, 540 by 999 times. Ding! Host has cultivated Xian Qi for 1 minute. Martial Arts Cultivation Experience gained, 540 by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial Arts Cultivation has successfully broken through to the middle stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. After trying to cultivate for a while, as expected, his cultivation speed had increased again. And very quickly, Jiyu broke through to the middle stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Jiyu, I feel like I'm going to break through soon. Right at this moment, Xiaogu, who was eating candy at the side, suddenly opened his mouth. Breakthrough? Jiyu was momentarily stunned. Are you talking about yourself? Yes. Xiaogu nodded slightly. Jiyu remembered that the last time she looked at Xiaogu's demonic power, Xiaogu was already at the 9th level of the 5th level. Now, Xiaogu suddenly said that he was about to break through. This also meant that Xiaogu's demonic power would soon reach the 6th level. Jiyu thought about it again. The 4th level of demonic power was equivalent to the Spirit Profound Realm for human warriors. The 5th level of demonic power was equivalent to the Human Profound Realm for human warriors. Then, the 6th level of demonic power was equivalent to the Earth Profound Realm for human warriors. Jiyu wasn't sure about other things. Only the Earth Profound Realm for human warriors. Jiyu was sure that there wouldn't be any Earth Profound Realm cultivators in the entire southern region. Not to mention the Earth Profound Realm, the southern region might not even have a Human Profound Realm that was 1 realm lower. This was enough to prove that Xiaogu was currently in existence that no one in the entire southern region could match. You'll break through today? Jiyu asked with concern. The only thing that worried him was that Xiaogu's demonic power had reached such a level. Would there be any difficulties or calamities in breaking through? Nope. Xiaogu shook his head and said, I feel like it'll take a few more days. At this moment, Xiaogu pretended to speak like an adult and said earnestly, my demonic power has already broken through to the 6th level, and you're still at the Spirit Profound Realm for human beings. You have to work hard. Chapter 484. Yes, Jiyu smiled helplessly. This guy was really a monster. His demonic power breakthrough speed was really fast. Most importantly, he didn't even need to cultivate. He could increase his demonic power just by breathing. But to be honest, he didn't need to work harder. His current strength was already in the upper echelons of the southern region. But if he looked at the entire mysterious heavenly continent, the spirit profound realm was still far from enough. Above the spirit profound realm, there was the human profound realm, earth profound realm, sky profound realm. There were even more realms that he couldn't touch. Jiyu still wanted to pursue higher realms and not be satisfied with the current situation. Young master, we have reached the central area. At this moment, the coachman outside the carriage spoke. All right, please stop for a moment, Ji said. After that, Ji Yu and Xiao Gu alighted from the carriage. It could be seen that the surrounding scene was much more prosperous than the remote area. The average strength of the martial cultivators was also much higher. Basically, the weakest martial cultivator was at the defensive profound realm. There were also many Tongxian experts. After all, in a place like this, those who weren't strong enough could only be servants or slaves. Those servants and slaves didn't have the mood or time to appear on streets. Even if they worked themselves to death every day, they might not even be able to get a meal. Surprisingly, the atmosphere here didn't seem too bad. Along the way, they didn't see many people committing crimes. It was probably controlled by the various large factions here, and they were controlling this place on their own. Of course, the control wasn't very strict, because at this moment, Jiyu saw with his own eyes a man who had a stall being killed in a single stroke in front of everyone. The surrounding people seemed to be used to it. They only came to watch for a while before dispersing. To them, this was already a small matter. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth ranks superior movement technique, shadowless lightning flash, gained experience. Won by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth ranks superior movement technique, shadowless lightning flash, gained experience. Won by 999 times. As Jiyu carried a silver spear on his back and was dressed in black, this impression was very obvious. After walking for a while, he realized that more and more people seemed to be staring at him. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength, experience gained. Won by 999 times. Jiyu purposely used her soul force to sense the surroundings. She discovered that not only were there people spying on her, there were also many Tongxian realm experts gathered in the dark. There were even 2 spirit profound realm experts. After discovering these people, Jiyu was not afraid. I noticed you guys a long time ago. Stop sneaking around and come out. Jiyu stopped in her tracks and said, all of a sudden, the auras of those people became somewhat chaotic. Obviously, they did not expect to be discovered by Jiyu so quickly. After that, those people gradually walked out from the shadows. Brat, you do have some skills. I didn't think that you would be able to discover me. The one who spoke was an old man in a black robe. He seemed to be the leader of these people. At the same time, he was also one of the 2 spirit profound realm martial artists that Jiyu had just sensed. Just by looking at their words and actions, Jiyu knew that they were here to cause trouble for her. This way, there was no need to talk nonsense. Jiyu directly pulled out the pure silver spear on her back and pointed the spear at those people. Something was wrong. At this time, Jiyu suddenly realized the number of people in front of her was different from the number that she had sensed with her soul force. It was less than half, and the other spirit profound realm martial artist had not appeared yet. Where did the rest of the people go? Jiyu was a little curious. She once again used her soul force to sense her surroundings. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength, experience gained. Won by 999 times. This time, Jiyu suddenly realized that the other half of the people were all in the dark behind her, as if preparing to appear. The next moment, just as expected, the other half of the people appeared. The leader was a gray-robed old man whose cultivation had reached the spirit profound realm. At this time, in front of and behind Jiyu, there were about 20 to 30 people on each side. There was a spirit profound realm old man in each side. As for the rest, their cultivation was all above the Tongxian realm. This kind of lineup could be said to be very valiant. When these 2 groups of people appeared, the nearby ordinary people all ran away, as if they all knew that these people were not to be trifled with and should not be approached. Ji suddenly felt that she had a lot of face. The big powers here had just started, and they had already sent such a strong lineup to deal with her. In that case, he naturally couldn't disappoint him. But just as Ji was about to show her skills, the black-robed old man in front of her suddenly spoke. The black-robed old man frowned. "People from the Green Cloud Gang, why are you here?" Green Cloud Gang? Ji did not know much about the powers in this chaotic city. She only heard that this Green Cloud Gang should be a gang. She still did not understand what was going on. "Do you still need to ask?" "Of course we are here to stop your Blackwater Gang." The gray-robed old man behind Ji slowly said, "Are you planning to become enemies with our Blackwater Gang?" The black-robed old man's face gradually darkened, and his tone gradually became cold. "When were you not enemies with us?" The gray-robed old man smiled faintly and said, Chapter 485. After listening to the conversation between the two old men, Ji had a rough idea of what was going on. These two old men belonged to the Green Cloud Gang and the Blackwater Gang respectively. They should be the major powers in the center of Chaos City. Otherwise, there wouldn't be people in the Spirit Profound realm. Both sides were enemies. And from the two old men's words, the one who wanted to find trouble with Gu was the Blackwater Gang. The Blackwater Gang should be the Yao family's backer. And the Green Cloud Gang was here to stop the Blackwater Gang. In other words, the Green Cloud Gang was here to help him? Although there was the saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," Gu wasn't too sure yet. At the same time, the black-robed old man had already understood the Green Cloud Gang's intentions. He seemed to be thinking about something. After thinking for a while, he still decided to temporarily retreat. "Kid, today's matter won't end so easily." Before retreating, the black-robed old man warned Gu. "Wait." At this time, Gu suddenly spoke up. "N." The black-robed old man looked back at Gu with some doubt. The Green Cloud Gang people were also puzzled. The Blackwater Gang people had already temporarily given up. What else did this kid want to do? "Did I say I was going to let you go?" The corner of Gu's mouth slightly raised, and she smiled. When these words came out, both the Green Cloud Gang and the Blackwater Gang people were stunned. "Kid, I advise you to not be ungrateful." The black-robed old man quickly regained his senses and said with a displeased expression, "Don't think that with the Green Cloud Gang people here, this old man is afraid of you." In his opinion, if it wasn't for the fact that he didn't want to fight to the death with the Green Cloud Gang people here, how could this kid have the right to speak? On the other side, the Green Cloud Gang people also felt that this kid was too ridiculous. They helped this kid out of goodwill, but in the end, this guy wasn't willing to let the Blackwater Gang people go. If the Blackwater Gang people really got angry and started a fight, they weren't willing to fight to the death for this guy. "Young man, listen to my advice. Don't fight to the death with the Blackwater Gang." The gray-robed elder of the Green Cloud Gang couldn't stand it anymore and immediately sent a message to Gu. "Are you trying to teach me how to do things?" Gu replied indifferently. From the beginning to the end, he had never asked those people from the Clear Sky sect to help him. Instead, it was those who rushed out on their own. As for the Blackwater Gang, since they wanted to cause trouble for him, he wouldn't let them go so easily. Hearing Gu's reply, the gray-robed old man couldn't help but shake his head. If it wasn't for the gang leader's orders, he wouldn't have brought anyone here. Originally, he was quite interested in this young genius, but after coming into contact with him, he immediately felt a little disappointed in this young man. This young man's talent and strength might be extremely high, but he was too arrogant and domineering, not putting others in his eyes. However, this kind of situation was very normal. After all, young people were full of vigor. He didn't intend to lend a helping hand for now. He wanted to let this young man suffer a little and reduce his arrogance. When this young man's life was in danger, he would save him. "Less nonsense, let's do it." Gu was too lazy to listen to the black-robed old man's nonsense. He directly held the pure silver spear and rushed into the crowd of the Black Cloud Gang. Ding! Host has used the superior Earth rank Shadowless Thunderflash. Shadowless Thunder Flash has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Oh no! Seeing this, the gray-robed old man of the Clear Sky sect suddenly shouted in his heart. He didn't expect this young man to be so reckless and stupid to directly rush into the crowd of the Black Cloud Gang. It seemed that he had to make a move now. Otherwise, in a few seconds, the young man would most likely lose his life. All of you go. Don't let that young man be killed. The gray-robed old man immediately ordered his subordinates behind him. However, before the rest of the Clear Sky sect could react, Jiyu had already rushed into the crowd of the Black Cloud Gang. Ding! Host has used the superior yellow rank spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Host has used the superior yellow rank spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations, Host. The superior yellow rank spear technique, Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique, has successfully broken through to the greater perfection stage. Ding! Detected that the Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique has reached the perfection stage. Automatically upgraded to the inferior profound rank spear technique, Cold Chill Spear Technique. He saw that Ji didn't first look for the spirit profound realm black-robed old man. Instead, she reaped the Tongxian realm martial artists one by one as if she was cutting grass. At the same time, her spear technique also obtained a breakthrough and advanced to the inferior profound rank Cold Chill Spear Technique. Each of Jiyu's spear strikes left no trace and were incomparably swift. Those Tongxian realm martial artists simply couldn't block or even see Jiyu's spear technique. They didn't even have the strength to resist and were all dealt with by Jiyu. Among them, there was no lack of Tongxian realm martial artists. At most, they couldn't withstand 3 to 5 of Jiyu's spear strikes. This was because they didn't even have the time to prepare. When the black-robed old man regained his senses, he was the only one left alive. Chapter 486. Looking at the shocking scene in front of him, the black-robed elder's eyes were filled with disbelief. He brought so many people, all of whom were above the Tongxian realm, but in the blink of an eye, they were all killed by this young man. It seemed that this young man's cultivation was at the spirit profound realm. The black-robed elder quickly calmed himself down and started to take this young man seriously. At the same time, on the other side, the people from the Green Cloud Gang were all dumbfounded. Even the gray-robed elder was shocked. With this young man's shocking performance, he felt that this young man's martial strength was definitely not weaker than his. At this moment, the gray-robed elder's impression of Ji-Yu completely changed. He no longer felt that Ji-Yu was young and frivolous, arrogant and despotic because this young man really had strength. When a person with strength acts pretentiously, that is awesome. Next, it's time to send you on your way. Following that, Ji-Yu pointed the pure silver spear in his hand at the black-robed elder. Today, this old man will properly meet you. The black-robed elder did not show any weakness. Although the subordinates he brought were all killed by the opponent, he was not affected too much. After knowing this young man's strength, he actually wanted to fight with this young man and see if he could thoroughly investigate this young man's true strength. Ji did not say anything and directly charged at the black-robed elder. At this moment, the pure silver spear in his hand became even whiter, emitting waves of cold air. Ding! Host used the low profound rank spear art, Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art obtained 999 times experience. Facing Jiyu's spear, the black-robed elder did not dare to underestimate his opponent. He immediately used his best defensive mystic skill to block Jiyu's spear. A faint red, translucent barrier appeared around the black-robed old man. Although it had blocked Jiyu's spear attack, a crack had appeared on it. At first contact, the black-robed elder could feel that the young man in front of him was indeed at the spirit profound realm. But the specific realm did not seem to be very high, probably just broke through to the first level of the spirit profound realm not long ago. Realizing this, the black-robed elder was delighted. He was at the peak of the first level of the spirit profound realm. In terms of cultivation, he had the advantage. However, what the black-robed old man didn't expect was that he only had a slight advantage over GU in terms of cultivation. Ding! Host has performed the high-level profound rank spear art, Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has performed the lower profound rank spear art, Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The profound class inferior spear art, Cold Spear Art, has successfully broken through to the initial success stage. At this moment, GU's continuous attacks completely destroyed the red barrier around the black-robed old man. Following the shattering of the defensive profound skill, the black-robed elder took advantage of the opening when GU retracted her spear and immediately sent a palm strike towards GU's abdomen. He used all his strength in this palm strike. The other party would definitely not be able to resist in time and would definitely suffer heavy injuries. This is bad. The gray-robed old man at the back realized that the situation was not good, that youth had been caught, and that palm strike was an earth-rank palm art. However, GU, who had the amethyst eyes, had a dynamic capturing ability, reaction speed, and other aspects that far surpassed ordinary people. The black-robed old man's seemingly ferocious palm strike, in GU's eyes, was as slow as a child playing house. Ding! Host has performed the high-level Earth-rank Shadowless Thunderflash. Shadowless Thunderflash has gained 999 times experience points. GU used her movement technique and easily dodged the black-robed old man's palm strike. What? The black-robed old man originally thought that his palm strike would at least injure the other party, but it didn't feel like it had hit the other party at all. He simply couldn't believe that the other party could actually dodge like this. I have something good for you. At this moment, GU said. Hearing the voice, the black-robed old man subconsciously looked in the direction of the voice. It just so happened that his eyes met with GU's. It was a pair of eyes that flickered with a purple light. Ding! Host has used the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light. Purple glazed eyes gained experience points, won by 999 times. The moment GU's eyes met the black-robed old man's, she immediately used the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light. This was the first time she had used the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light. She didn't know if the effect would satisfy him. At this moment, the black-robed old man felt a piercing pain in his eyes. In the depths of his mind, countless streaks of purple lightning were wreaking havoc, threatening to destroy the heavens and earth. He knelt on the ground in agony, as if he was experiencing hellish torment. Seeing the black-robed old man in such a state, GU could sense that his mental strength and willpower were continuously weakening. It was even on the verge of collapse. It seemed that the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light was quite effective. If she used both the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light and the Golden Blade at the same time, both of them were mental attacks, so there should be a stacking effect. Ding! Host has used the Golden Blade. Gold level mental strength gained experience points, won by 999 times. At this thought, GU decided to experiment on the black-robed old man and use the Golden Blade at the same time. In the blink of an eye, a small golden blade pierced through the black-robed old man's head. The black-robed old man's mental strength and willpower completely collapsed. He knelt on the ground and wailed in agony. It was obvious that he had completely lost the ability to fight. Right now, he could only be at the mercy of others. Chapter 487. The black-robed old man no longer had the slightest ability to fight, let alone resist. Ding! Host has used the low, profound rank spear art, Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art has obtained 999 times of experience. Jiyu walked over and casually fired his spear, sending the black-robed old man to meet the king of hell. The scene in front of them caused the Green Cloud gang members to be shocked. They basically did not see what method the youth used to make the spirit-profound realm old man from the Blackwater gang suddenly enter a state of madness. Only the gray-robed elder, whose cultivation was at the spirit-profound realm, was barely able to see a little of it. He seemed to have seen a golden light just now, but he did not know what method it was. And before that golden light appeared, the Blackwater gang guy was already abnormal. He could not help but sigh. This youth was really a terrifying and mysterious existence. Do you have anything else? At this time, Jiyu turned around and looked at the so-called Green Cloud gang members. The Green Cloud gang members did not dare to say a word. Only the old man in gray robes spoke carefully. Our gang leader wants to cooperate with young master. Cooperate? Jiyu frowned slightly. You'd better get out of my sight before I make a move. He was not interested in cooperating at all. In this chaotic land, there was no one who could make him afraid. Why should he cooperate with a gang that he did not even know? He was already very merciful that he did not take care of the Green Cloud gang along with them. Hearing the other party's words, the old man in gray robes did not dare to say anything else. This youth was really not easy to get along with. Since he could not get along with him, he must not force it to avoid inviting a fatal disaster. Let's hurry and leave. The old man in gray robes ordered the others to leave. After a while, the Green Cloud gang members all disappeared from Jiyu's sight. Because they were very afraid that the youth would kill them all if he was unhappy, they fled very quickly. Jiyu did not take the Green Cloud gang members to heart. After that, he collected the storage rings on the Blackwater gang members. This was called collecting the spoils of war. After that, Jiyu left with Xiao Gu, as if what happened here had nothing to do with him. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. While walking, Jiyu was still checking the storage rings she had looted from the Blackwater gang members. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. First, Jiyu opened the storage ring she had obtained from the black-robed old man. That black-robed old man was at least at the spirit profound realm, so the treasures in his storage ring should not be bad. He opened the storage ring to take a look, only to find that the space inside the storage ring was extremely clean. There was almost nothing inside. He took a closer look and saw that there was an old and tattered piece of yellow paper lying in the storage ring. What is this? Jiyu was just about to take out the incomplete piece of yellow paper from her storage ring when the sound of a system notification suddenly sounded in her head. Ding! The host has taken a look at the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully comprehended the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. After taking it out, Jiyu found that the incomplete piece of yellow paper was blurry and hard to understand. However, the system triggered the 999 times comprehension ability, allowing him to directly comprehend this Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. All the details of the entire treasure map appeared clearly in his mind. Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. This should be a good thing, Jiyu secretly thought in his heart. Since he had this Land of Extreme Frost treasure map, then when the time came, he would definitely make a trip to the Land of Extreme Frost. This treasure map was enough to prove that there were extremely precious treasures in that place. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations to the host. gold-level spiritual power has successfully broken through to the initial stage. Next, Jiyu opened the rest of the storage rings one by one. After taking a rough inventory, he put these storage rings into his original storage ring. After that, Jiyu found an information broker in a dark corner, intending to ask for information. What information does the young master need? That information broker asked with a smile. Where is the specific location of the Blackwater Gang? Jiyu directly asked. Blackwater Gang? Does the young master want to join the Blackwater Gang? The information broker asked curiously. Because the Blackwater Gang was one of the top forces in the central area of the Chaos City, usually no one would ask about this. Don't talk nonsense. Jiyu's expression was slightly displeased, obviously somewhat impatient. He couldn't be bothered to argue with this person. Although Jiyu's attitude wasn't very good, the information broker wasn't angry. The information broker didn't dare to lightly offend the customer, and hurriedly told Jiyu the specific location of the Blackwater Gang. If the young master really wants to join the Blackwater Gang, it's best to... Then, the information broker kindly reminded him. However, halfway through, he discovered that the young man with the little girl just now had disappeared. Chapter 488. According to the information provided by the information broker, Jiyu headed towards the Blackwater Gang. Now that the Blackwater Gang wanted to make a move on him, he naturally would not let them go. Along the way, Jiyu took out all the elixirs from the storage rings he had obtained from the Blackwater Gang members and consumed them. Ding! Host has consumed a second-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has consumed a third-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the late stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. At the same time, he circulated his cultivation technique to suppress the commotion caused by the breakthrough. Ding! Host has circulated the King rank cultivation technique Sky Splitter. Sky Splitter has gained 999 times experience. Most of these pills were only Tier 2 and Tier 3 pills. Only a few of them were Tier 4 pills. So after consuming so many pills, Jiyu barely broke through 2 small realms and reached the peak of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. But Jiyu did not only have these pills. He still had the pills he obtained from the ancient city ruins. Thinking of this, he took out those pills and consumed them all. Ding! Host has consumed a third-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has consumed a fourth-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the early stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the middle stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the late stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. The pills obtained from the ancient city ruins were completely different. There were more of them, and their quality was generally higher. Consuming all of them in one go allowed Jiyu to continuously break through to the late stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. He was quite satisfied with the speed of his cultivation. With his current strength, fighting against a martial cultivator at the third level of the Spirit Profound Realm was a piece of cake. It was even possible for him to fight against a martial cultivator at the fourth level of the Spirit Profound Realm if he gave it his all. However, this time, he had relied on medicinal pills to break through so many cultivation realms. so he had to stabilize his foundation for quite some time. At this time, Jiyu had already arrived at the Blackwater Gang's location. This was really near a river with black water. No wonder it was called the Blackwater Gang. This Blackwater River seemed to contain a very valuable substance, which was why the Blackwater Gang was able to occupy this place. Even the gang was named Blackwater. Jiyu walked in scrupulously to the place where the Blackwater Gang members were stationed, as if she had entered a place where no one was around. "Who are you?" At this time, a member of the Blackwater Gang who was patrolling nearby saw Jiyu and immediately scolded her. "I'm here to kill you," Jiyu said straightforwardly. That was indeed his goal. Those patrolling people couldn't help but be stunned. This brat, who came out of nowhere, actually said that he wanted to kill them. They seemed to have heard a very funny joke, and when they came back to their senses, they all started laughing. "I'm going to die of laughter. Is this brat dreaming?" "Brat, scram back to where you came from. Hurry up and scram. We don't have time to play around with you." Those people didn't put Jiyu in their eyes. They were in a good mood today. Otherwise, they would have already made a move on this reckless brat. Jiyu didn't say anything else and was prepared to kill these people who were talking nonsense. From the beginning, she could sense that the 5 people in front of her were only at the 8th or 9th level of the defensive profound realm. Ding! Host has used the low profound rank spear art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art obtained 999 times experience. Ding! Host has used the low profound rank spear art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art obtained 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. The low profound rank spear art Cold Spear Art has successfully broken through to the mastery realm. The long spear in Jiyu's hand flashed with a cold light, and the cold air penetrated the bones. With a few quick strikes, she killed all 5 of them. At the same time, the Cold Spear Art also broke through to the mastery realm. However, the commotion here also attracted the attention of the other members of the Blackwater Gang. More and more people rushed out for various buildings, and many of them were of the Tongxian realm. Where did this guy come from? How dare he cause trouble in our Blackwater Gang? Damn it, those 5 brothers were actually killed by this brat. Kill that brat and avenge our brothers. A group of people held their weapons and aggressively charged towards Jiyu. At this moment, the other 2 men who were at the first level of the spirit profound realm spoke up beside Luo Xing. Yes. Luo Xing nodded solemnly. It just so happened that he could send his subordinates to investigate the true background of that young man. After receiving the sect leader's nod, the 2 men at the spirit profound realm immediately used their movement techniques to rush towards Jiyu. Seeing that the 2 guys at the first level of the spirit profound realm wanted to go first, Jiyu decided to end the battle quickly. The pure silver spear in his hand suddenly disappeared, and immediately after, a green patterned sword appeared out of thin air. Ding! Host has performed Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Host has performed Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations, host. The Earth rank medium level sword art, Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style, has successfully broken through to the perfection realm. Jiyu did not even use her sword intent. She only relied on the Earth rank sword art Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style. 2 Earth rank sword arts were used consecutively. The 2 men at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm, as well as the rest of the Blackwater Gang members who had yet to reach the Spirit Profound Realm, were all directly burned to ashes under the extreme heat. Not even their bones remained. Only Luo Xing was slightly further away. Furthermore, as he felt that his life was in danger, he reflexively used all his strength to block. Even so, his body still suffered quite a few burn wounds. The Blackwater Gang was not that easy to join, so there were not many people. Originally, there were only 100 or 200 people. Now, only Luo Xing was left. Looking at the incomparably tragic scene in front of him, Luo Xing's entire body stiffened. His face was filled with a dazed and helpless expression. He did not expect that such a scene would happen. In an instant, he was the only one left in the entire Blackwater gang. Luo Xing did not even have the chance to use the Blackwater gang's strongest trump card, the Blackwater Formation. This was because the Blackwater Formation required at least 2 Spirit Profound Realm Martial Cultivators and 10 Tongxian Realm Martial Cultivators to be able to use it. But now he was the only one left. How could he fight this? How the F***CK could he fight this? Luo Xing's heart was crumbling. His mentality had already crumbled, and he had completely lost his will to fight. Ding! Host has performed Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second Style has obtained 999 times of proficiency experience. Ding! Host has activated 70% Sword Dao True Meaning. 70% Sword Dao True Meaning has obtained 999 times of proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. 70% Sword Dao True Meaning has successfully broken through to 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. This time, GU Sword Attack was instantaneous. Furthermore, it was accompanied by Sword Dao True Meaning, intending to kill Luo Xing in one strike. Perhaps Luo Xing had given up on resisting, or perhaps Luo Xing did not even have the time to react. Luo Xing could not resist at all, and his throat was easily slit by GU's sword. Today, one of the major powers in Chaos City, the Blackwater Gang, was completely annihilated. Chapter 490. After annihilating the Blackwater Gang, GU kept everyone's storage rings. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, won by 999 times. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, won by 999 times. GU opened everyone's storage rings one by one to see what was inside. Not to mention the various treasures. He found a treasure map in Luo Xing's storage ring. Ding! Host has taken a look at the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. At this time, GU realized the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map that he obtained from the black-robed old man, who was also the deputy leader of the Blackwater Gang, was only a part of the entire treasure map. But these 2 pieces of treasure map were still not the complete map. GU guessed that there should be 1 or 2 pieces missing, but it didn't matter. Only the 2 pieces of treasure map in his hands could roughly pinpoint the location. At most, it would take a little more time to find it. After that, GU took out all the pills in the storage rings and consumed them. Ding! Host has consumed a 3rd grade pill, gaining 999 times cultivation experience. Ding! Host has consumed a 4th grade pill, gaining 999 times cultivation experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding! Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. The pills in the storage rings of these Blackwater Gang members were not few, but not many. Therefore, GU's breakthrough in martial arts cultivation was not too explosive. To be precise, these guys had everything in their storage rings. Gold coins, pills, treasures, diagrams, materials, all kinds of things. Not many, so there were not many pills. During this trip to the Fringe, GU had obtained a huge amount of valuable items. If he sold all of them for gold coins, the total amount of gold coins would be unimaginable. Not only that, but his overall strength had also increased by several times. It could be said that he was extremely satisfied with the harvest of this trip. Next, GU prepared to head to the Land of Extreme Frost to search for the hidden treasure. There was no reason to stay in the Chaos City any longer. Although the Blackwater Gang wasn't the only major power in the City of Chaos, he had no enmity with the other powers. As long as others didn't provoke him, he wouldn't go looking for trouble. At this moment, Ji turned around and left. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. However, not long after, Ji was slapped in the face at the speed of light. A group of people appeared in front of him. They looked like the Green Cloud Gang from last time. Ji frowned slightly. What are these people from the Green Cloud Gang doing here? Don't say that they are here to find trouble with him. The gray-robed old man that Ji met before was also among the Green Cloud Gang. Why are you here? The gray-robed old man exclaimed when he saw Ji. Deputy gang leader, you know him? A green-robed man asked curiously when he saw that the gray-robed old man knew the unfamiliar youth. Gang leader, this is the youth I was talking about earlier. The gray-robed old man explained. The green-robed man, who was called gang leader, was naturally the Green Cloud Gang's gang leader. So, it's him. The green-robed man couldn't help but be slightly shocked. I'm just here to do something. Ji said indifferently. But you guys, what are you doing here? We have something to do with the Blackwater Gang. The gray-robed old man replied vaguely. He was more concerned about why this black-robed youth would appear near the Blackwater Gang. Could it be that he was here to settle accounts with the Blackwater Gang? And he even brought his own little sister? He looked at the little sister beside the black-robed youth. Although her appearance was a little special, she was just a weak girl who didn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. This made him very puzzled. You are here to find the Blackwater Gang for something? Ji smiled slightly. Then I'm sorry, I have just sent them on their way. This understatement shocked everyone present in the Green Cloud Gang. They almost thought that they had heard wrongly. This youth meant that those people from the Blackwater Gang had already died in the hands of this youth. What nonsense is that kid talking about over there? He wants to lie to us. Does he really think that we are all 3-year-old children? Gang leader, deputy gang leader, let's deal with that kid first. Yes, this kid really dares to act all pretentious. At least let him learn a lesson. However, almost no one believed it. Only a small group of people who had seen Ji before held a skeptical attitude. The rest of the people suggested to the green-robed man and the gray-robed old man. After all, the Blackwater Gang had several spirit profound realm experts. The Blackwater Gang leader's cultivation had even reached the second level of the spirit profound realm. To defeat the entire Blackwater Gang, one would need to at least have the strength of the third level of the spirit profound realm. Those who had not seen Ji's strength would not think that someone could reach the spirit profound realm at this age. Chapter 491. Hearing the others provoking him, the gray-robed old man's face immediately became ugly. Shut up, the gray-robed old man scolded. He really wanted to kill these idiots on the spot. They dared to say anything. If they really angered the black-robed youth, they would all suffer. Probably only the gang leader could stop him. No one expected that the vice gang leader would suddenly fly into a rage. Although they didn't know what was going on, they all obediently shut their mouths. As the gang leader, the green-robed man was also speechless to his subordinates. Although he hadn't seen the black-robed youth's strength with his own eyes, hearing the vice gang leader's words, he was definitely not an existence to be trifled with. Young master, please don't take it to heart. The people next to him all shut up. The gray-robed old man then turned to Ji and said. Ji was silent. From the beginning, he didn't take these people seriously at all. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Ji was too lazy to continue talking nonsense with these people and prepare to leave. Of course there's nothing else. Young master, please leave. The vice gang leader hurriedly said. It would be best if this youth could leave quickly. He couldn't rest assured if he stayed here for even a second. Then, Ji didn't talk nonsense and directly passed by those people of the Green Cloud Gang. Ding! The host has taken a step. The superior Earth rank movement technique, Shadowless Thunderflash, has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. The host has taken a step. The superior Earth rank movement technique, Shadowless Thunderflash, has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Letting GU walk past those people. Those people didn't dare to say a word. However, they weren't afraid of GU, but the Vice Gang leader. Seeing that the black-robed youth left, the gray-robed old man suddenly didn't worry so much. The green-robed man also breathed a sigh of relief. Then, those people of the Green Cloud Gang continued to walk towards the Blackwater Gang. On the way, there were still some people whispering below. What happened to the Vice Gang leader just now? Why was he suddenly so angry? I don't know. It's a little strange. The Vice leader seems to be very afraid of that young man. Hey, don't you know? Not long ago, the deputy leader of the Blackwater Gang was killed by a black-clothed youth. Wait, the black-clothed youth you're talking about. Could it be that youth from earlier? The people below were whispering to each other. Finally, someone told the truth. All of a sudden, the group of people felt that it was unbelievable. They were very clear that the Blackwater Gang's Vice Gang leader was at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm, yet he was killed by a young man. That black-clothed youth just now couldn't be more than 18 years old, at most 16 or 17 years old. To be able to kill the Blackwater Gang's Vice Gang leader meant that his true strength was at least at the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. In other words, the black-clothed youth, who was not even 18 years old, already possessed a cultivation at the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. This caused them to simply not dare to believe it. This was truly too shocking. In the entire Bedlam lands, they had never heard of any young genius whose cultivation had reached the Spirit Profound Realm. However, since even the Vice Gang leader was so afraid, they could only believe it. After a while, the Green Cloud Gang arrived at the Blackwater Gang's location. However, when they looked over, they didn't see a single living figure. They only saw corpses all over the ground. So much so that only a few bone fragments were left of the corpses. It looked like they died very tragically. Everyone from the Green Cloud Gang stood in place blankly, dumbstruck by the scene in front of them. Was it really done by that youth just now? Including the gray-robed elder and the green-robed man. These two Green Cloud Gang's Vice Gang leader and gang leader were shocked by the scene in front of them. That black-clothed youth just now, who was he? The green-robed man muttered dreamily. I'm not sure either. I don't even know where he came from or what his name is. The gray-robed elder barely regained his senses and replied. From start to finish, that black-clothed youth's identity was a mystery. The green-robed man suddenly thought of something. He hurriedly used his soul force to sense the surroundings. He immediately realized that other than the Green Cloud Gang members, there wasn't a single living person in the surroundings. In other words, even the Blackwater Gang's gang leader, Luo Xing, was also killed by that black-clothed youth. If I'm not wrong, the Blackwater Gang's gang leader and Vice Gang leader's treasure map should have been taken by that black-clothed youth. The green-robed man pondered for a while, then said solemnly, when the time comes, we will probably meet that black-clothed youth in the extremely cold land. But even so, we shouldn't provoke that youth. Chapter 492. Understood. The gray-robed old man also nodded solemnly. The reason why their Green Cloud Gang had mustered so many people to come here this time was because of the treasure map of the Arctic land. The Land of Extreme Frost treasure map actually had a total of 4 pieces. The 4 pieces were combined together to accurately find the specific location of the treasure. But now, the 2 pieces of the Blackwater Gang's treasure map had been taken away by that young man. Their plan had to be changed. It was definitely unrealistic to ask that young man for it. Later, that young man would also destroy the entire Green Cloud Gang. But they couldn't give up the treasure in the Land of Extreme Frost. Although they only had 1 piece of the map in their hands, and the other piece was in the hands of other forces, they could barely find the approximate location. In this situation, they could only make do with it. As for the other people of the Green Cloud Gang, especially those who wanted to provoke Jiyu before. They all felt very lucky. Fortunately, the deputy gang leader was there, otherwise they would be in trouble. At this moment, Jiyu had already gone far away. Now that it was already late, he casually found an inn to stay. At night, there was nothing to do, so Jiyu prepared to start refining pills. He had countless materials in his storage ring, and it was time to use some of them. Immediately, Jiyu took out the alchemy furnace and a pile of alchemy materials from his storage ring. This pile of alchemy materials were all materials for the 4th grade pill, Xian enhancement pill. Ding! Detected that the host has started refining the 4th grade pill, Xian enhancement pill, triggering a success rate of 999 times. Accompanied by the system's prompt of 999 times success rate, Jiyu began to refine the pill. Ding! The host has refined a 4th grade pill, Xian enhancement pill. Alchemy attainment pill has gained 999 times experience. Ding! The host has refined a 4th grade pill, Xian enhancement pill. Alchemy attainment pill has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Alchemy attainment pill has successfully broken through to the 5th grade superior alchemist. A total of 10 Xian enhancement pills were refined. Jiyu's alchemy attainment also had a breakthrough at this time. Then, he took all 10 Xian enhancement pills one after another. Ding! Host has consumed a grade 4 pill, Xian enhancing pill. Martial arts cultivation has increased by 999 times. Ding! Host has consumed a grade 4 pill, Xian enhancing pill. Martial arts cultivation has increased by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound realm. After consuming the 8th Profound enhancing pill, Jiyu's cultivation broke through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound realm. At this time, it was still not too late. Jiyu began to cultivate the Heaven Splitter. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. However, it was not so easy to break through the Heaven Splitter. Although he felt that he was close to breaking through, he estimated that he would need to cultivate for another day or two before he could break through. It was already late at night. Jiyu should go to bed. When he woke up the next day, he washed up simply and ate breakfast. After that, he headed towards the direction of the land of extreme cold. In the entire southern region, the land of extreme cold was the northernmost place. He called for a horse carriage with good quality horses and left the chaotic lands for the land of extreme cold. In the carriage, Jiyu did not waste any time and continued to cultivate the Sky Splitter. He wanted to strive to raise his physique as soon as possible. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter to this small success realm. This time, Jiyu finally succeeded in breaking through. Of course, it also took a day and a half. The carriage was almost at the land of extreme cold. Jiyu could feel that his physique had already reached the 3rd grade of the Profound Body. Ding! The host has cultivated Profound Qi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivations 560 by 999 times. Ding! The host has cultivated Profound Qi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation is 560 by 999 times. Before getting off the carriage, Jiyu tried to test the cultivation speed of his physique. Obviously, his cultivation speed had increased again. Young master, the land of extreme cold is just ahead. At this time, The coachman's embarrassed voice came from outside. This one won't be going in. At the same time, he was very worried that this young master would not be willing. If he was not willing, then he would be in trouble. However, there was nothing he could do. Okay. Ji did not mind and directly brought Xiao Gu down the carriage. He could understand why the coachman did not dare to bring them into the land of extreme cold. After all, the temperature in the land of extreme cold was too low. It was very easy for horses to freeze and not move forward. That coachman's cultivation was not high either. He was only at the defensive profound realm. It was very dangerous to enter a place like the land of extreme cold. After getting off the carriage, the journey to the land of extreme cold was not very far. Even if they walked, it would take at most half an hour. Moreover, Xiao Gu could fly with him. There was no need to make things difficult for others. Chapter 493. With Xiao Gu's help, Jiyu flew to the land of extreme frost. According to the two treasure maps, Jiyu directly asked Xiao Gu to bring him to the approximate location of the treasure. Looking down from the sky, it was a glacier, and the surrounding temperature was also dropping rapidly. When they arrived at a suitable location, Xiao Gu descended. This is the place. Jiyu looked at the snow-white ground below his feet. When he looked up, there was only snow and ice. Although the treasure trove should be nearby, they still had no idea where it was. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth rank inferior movement technique shadowless lightning flash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth rank inferior movement technique shadowless lightning flash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After walking for a long time, Jiyu still didn't find a place where the treasure was hidden. Then, an idea surfaced in his mind. That was to use the purple glazed pupil's ability to search. Ding! Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After a few rounds of searching, Jiyu finally found a place hidden under the ice and snow that looked the most like a treasure trove. He walked to the top of the treasure trove. Then, the next step was to break through the layers of thick ice and snow below his feet. This was at least a dozen meters deep, and it wouldn't be easy to go down. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist art, solitary killing fist art. Solitary killing fist art has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations to Host. The Earth rank inferior fist art, solitary killing fist art, has successfully broken through to the mastery stage. With a punch, he only broke through about 2 meters of the ice and snow below his feet. Jiyu couldn't help but feel a little surprised. No matter what, this was an Earth rank inferior fist art, but it only broke through less than 2 meters of the ice and snow below his feet. Perhaps it was because this ice and snow had settled in this extremely cold place for hundreds of thousands of years, and its degree of toughness was extraordinary. Jiyu could only continue to punch down. In any case, he still had a lot of Xian-Qi in his body. Ding! Host has performed the Earth lower level fist art, solitary slaughter fist art. The solitary slaughter fist art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Host has performed the Earth lower level fist art, solitary slaughter fist art. The solitary slaughter fist art has gained 999 times experience points. Ding! Congratulations, Host. The inferior Earth rank fist art, solitary slaughter fist art, has successfully broken through to the impeccable stage. After a few more punches, Jiyu finally broke through the layer of ice and arrived at the location of the treasure that she had discovered through her amethyst pupil. Immediately after, a system notification sounded in his mind. Ding! The host has taken a look at the 5th stage concealment array and triggered 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully comprehending the fifth stage, concealment formation. At this moment, Jiyu found out that there was actually a grade 5 concealment array underneath. It was no wonder that when he used the amethyst pupil, he could only see that this place looked like a treasure trove. Ding! The host has successfully deciphered the fifth stage concealment array. Array formation proficiency has gained 999 times experience points. After learning the deciphering method, Jiyu spent some time to decipher the fifth stage concealment array. Then, a place that looked like an ice cellar appeared in front of him. Because this ice cellar was more than 10 meters deep from the ground, the environment was relatively dark. Ding! The host has activated her spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power has gained experience points, won by 999 times. Jiyu immediately took out a night luminescent pearl from her storage ring. Although this night luminescent pearl was not particularly bright, it was enough to illuminate this ice cellar. Jiyu originally thought that she would be able to find the treasure hidden here after entering this ice cellar. In the end, she discovered that there was nothing in this ice cellar. Forget about treasures, there was not even a single gold coin. That's not right. Since there is a treasure map, there can't be nothing here. Jiyu still did not believe it. This treasure map of the land of extreme frost could not be completely useless, right? Ding! The host has used the amethyst pupil. Amethyst pupil has gained experience points, won by 999 times. Ding! The host has used the spiritual perception. Spiritual perception has gained experience points, won by 999 times. Jiyu immediately activated the amethyst pupil again. At the same time, she used her spiritual perception to search for any possible secrets in this ice cellar. In the next instant, she sensed a fluctuation of xian qi behind her. Following her spiritual perception to search for the xian qi fluctuation, Jiyu saw a wall of ice in front of her. At this moment, the amethyst pupil just so happened to be in its active state, so he immediately saw through the wall of ice. There was a door that contained xian qi fluctuations. He was instantly overjoyed. He had finally found it. Chapter 494. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique, solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. Jiyu used his fist technique and smashed through the ice wall in front of him. Then, a door containing mysterious xian qi energy appeared in front of him. However, this door did not seem to be easy to open. Jiyu looked carefully and found that there were 4 shallow grooves on the door. One of the grooves seemed to be about the size of a treasure map. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, won by 999 times. After discovering this, Jiyu immediately took out the 2 treasure maps from the storage ring. He compared them with the grooves on the wall and found that they were almost the same size. However, he only had 2 treasure maps and there were 4 grooves on the door. Looks like I'm still missing 2 treasure maps. This is a little troublesome, Jiyu thought to himself. Where could he find the 2 missing pieces of the treasure map? Jiyu was at a loss for a moment. He thought about it and decided to try to break open the door with force. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique, solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. However, this punch did not cause any damage to the door in front of him. The strangest thing was that it gave Jiyu the feeling that he hit it, but in fact he did not hit it at all. It was as if there was a layer of invisible film in front of him. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique, solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique, solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. Ding! Congratulations, host. the Earth rank inferior fist technique, solitary killing fist technique, has successfully broken through to the greater perfection stage. Ding! It has been detected that this solitary killing fist technique has reached the perfection stage and is automatically upgraded to the Earth rank intermediate fist technique, cloud extinction fist technique. No matter how many punches Yu threw, it was useless. The door in front of him didn't even shake. Although Yu's greatest killing move wasn't the solitary slaughter fist art, there was no need to continue trying. The solitary slaughter fist art was an inferior Earth rank fist art. Its power was not weak, but it was unable to shake this door in the slightest. Even if he swapped out his sword and used his strongest killing move, it would still be a waste of energy. From the looks of it, Yu had no choice but to collect the remaining 2 treasure maps. Other than this, he had no other choice. However, at this moment, Yu suddenly sensed that someone was approaching from the ground. Ding! Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained. 1 by 999 times. Yu immediately used her soul force to sense the situation. To his surprise, he discovered that it was the Green Cloud Gang. Not only that, there's also a group of people on the other side, but he didn't know what kind of power they were. Yu could sense that among the group of people on the other side, the strongest one was at the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Aside from his person, there were 4 others whose cultivation was around the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm. The rest were all at the Tongxian Realm. This power, as a whole, was obviously stronger than the Green Cloud Gang. However, he didn't know what kind of power they were, nor did he know where they came from. However, no matter who they were, since they were able to find this place, it meant that there was a high possibility that they had a treasure map. If there were no surprises, the Green Cloud Gang had a treasure map, and the other unknown power also had a treasure map. Yu already had a plan in his heart, waiting for those people to come down by themselves. Not long after, the people from the Green Cloud Gang met with people from another unknown faction. Yu could sense that these 2 groups of people quickly reached a consensus. Without any fighting, they came down to the ice cellar together. You're finally here. At this moment, the corner of Yu's mouth slightly raised. Hearing the somewhat familiar youth's voice, the Green Cloud Gang's group all trembled. This voice, wasn't it the voice of the black-clothed youth from before? The Green Cloud Gang's gang leader, which was the green-robed man, was the first to recognize that this was the black-clothed youth's voice. His gaze turned to the source of the voice in shock, and discovered that there was a black-clothed youth holding a night pearl in one hand and holding a bewitching girl in the other hand standing inside. He couldn't help but frown. He didn't expect that this youth would actually come here so quickly. Moreover, he glanced around and discovered that the treasures here seemed to have been swept clean by that youth. Regarding this, he could only admit defeat. This trip could be considered as a waste. Apart from feeling very regretful, he didn't have any other thoughts. He couldn't possibly ask that youth to hand over the treasures, right? Wasn't that courting death? The entire Blackwater gang was directly wiped out by the other party. If their Green Cloud Gang provoked this youth, their end wouldn't be good. The second to react was the deputy gang leader, the gray-robed elder. He and the gang leader had the same thoughts. Anyway, no matter what, it was fine as long as they didn't provoke that youth. After all, life was more important than anything else. As for the rest of the Green Cloud Gang members, they didn't dare to have any thoughts at all. At the moment when they heard the black-clothed youth's voice, they already had the idea of escaping in their hearts. What happened to the Blackwater Gang last time brought too much shock to their hearts. In their eyes, the black-clothed youth was simply like a killing god. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.